is a challenge. Battle for a new champion.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Right Reality Podcast. My name is Steven.
And my name is Mixie. We are here to recap episode 13, El Sabitor, and episode 14, Don't Let TJ Decide. Now, you might be thinking, you guys look a little different. I guess actually they wouldn't think that we look any different because...
Not yet.
Not yet. So what we are trying to do is...
Not yet.
I'm
Not
awful
yet.
at this. So what we're trying to do is we're going to record every episode after we see it, but we will still be giving it to you in two-part sections so that we are very good at recapping everything and have the energy to do so and remember everything that happened without screwing up our release timeline. So we are as of right now when we're recording this, we have only seen episode 13. I don't know what this episode 14 title is, but you'll know when you're watching.
Well, we think it's the one you just said.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it
decide.
means. I don't know what it means.
Oh, right. We don't know what that means yet. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just a long about way of basically saying we, on the back half of our big, long records, have felt the wheels slightly coming off in terms of energy. So therefore, we're going to do one, and that way we got the energy all the way through to keep delivering you the number one.
Yes.
Energy all day, every day.
A way
right
better
here.
explanation. Sorry, I really fucked that up. I
That's
took my
okay.
lumps. I've learned, everybody. I know what it means. I still
She's
think it's
learned and
cottage
grown.
cheese, and I like cottage cheese, so I will take my lumps.
You know, here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I respect that move, but honestly, I'm a little disappointed in the hotties right now. I'm a little disappointed in the group because we have posted our episode with a recap and an interview with Cara, right?
Yeah.
Which has probably like 1.8 million views on YouTube or whatever it is. Don't fact check.
I think there's a couple zeros there, hit or miss.
Sure. And she said that she's learned and grown. And no one in the comments or a DM goes, Cara's obviously a fan of the number one. Not one of you fuckers. What's going on?
Did you see my face when she said it?
Yes.
I was like...
Yes. None of you. What's going on? I'm very disappointed.
I'm not mad. We're not mad. We're disappointed.
I'm a little mad. A little mad.
You know what? It's okay.
It's okay.
They're going to learn and grow and realize that they need to be fact-checking all of these people when they're in their interviews using our phrasing.
Yeah, just take a step back, as a matter of fact. Why would you do that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Manifest a little.
Christ, get to it. Do all the things we've told you. We've taught you. You don't need to go to college. You just need to come to the number one. Learn and grow, manifest, boom. That's it. Okay?
That is it. It's that simple.
All right, let's get started with this episode. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Couldn't agree more.
Again, I'll be forthcoming here.
Okay.
This is on us. This is on us. And
Is
we
it?
should have known not to say last week at the end of last week's episode, 2 really great episodes. And you know what? Mixie, as soon as I said it, I go, oh man, we're going to get
Fuck.
boned next week.
Yeah. The thing that sucks is I liked the daily and I kind of liked the elimination. I didn't love the elimination, but I kind of liked it. And yet this still was a snoozer of an episode. Which just goes to show you that nobody fucking cares about everybody's goddamn conversations about the same situation that, spoiler alert, does not change. Nothing changed from what was originally supposed to happen to what happened.
We're just filling the hour and a half because you all complained that there wasn't enough time to hear the strategy. We gave you an hour and a half. Now you complain that it's too much strategy because we don't show enough of the daily.
Hold on. I don't think I personally have ever complained about them not showing enough strategy. Too much.
No, this was the challenge community at large, which honestly was the target of some of my tweets this week. Honestly, if I'm being honest, there was a lot of challenge community targeted tweets that I felt were very on the nose, that we are what some might call flip-floppers or grass is always greener type fans. Not I, but the community in a whole. You know what I mean? As a whole.
You could say that. You could say that. Yeah, I mean, I think that this episode in general is kind of changing the tide of what I think they want the challenge community to like as a hero. I think that they're kind of painting Olivia in this like sneaky snake kind of light.
I'm a snake.
Same with Jay. You know, these golden children that they had at the beginning of the season. I feel like the way that they're editing and kind of portraying the story is sort of now like this underdog for Kyland and Raven, which doesn't make any sense to me. That whole thing.
I just don't get it. This whole episode was about how big of a crook is Jay, right? Jay and Michelle, the past 2 episodes, why they are horrible, why should they be in charge of the game? We're doing everything for Jay and Michelle. I don't know, because they have the best strategy so far. They've come in with the most numbers. They're playing an effective game with that. They've brought in enough people in the way too many people on the fucking show that are not part of their group, so it's easy to vote them out. That reason, maybe? That reason?
Yeah.
And you can hate Jay or Michelle for whatever reason. They're playing an effective game. And if this is anybody else other than Jay and Michelle, if this is one of the people that you like and they play this game, you're applauding them. Just say you don't like them.
Yeah.
That's it. Just say that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't really get it. I don't. I know that people are saying it's because they feel like they're untouchable. Well, right now they are.
Well, and I would even argue Michelle just went down and did a fantastic job. Whether she had help or not, she still fucking did what she did.
Yeah.
I believe Emmanuel tweeted, by the way, because I guess now I just defend Michelle. It's not even like I'm fucking obsessed with Michelle. It's just I hate how we are given and portrayed this reality that's not real. Emmanuel tweeted and said that no one helped Michelle.
Yeah.
Said she didn't need it. She got it done herself. I didn't see anybody tweet that when Raven beat Laurel. All I'm saying is don't be mad at the player. Be mad at the game.
It's what we've always said, and that we'll leave it at that. They want us to start like not buying into like Olivia's like friendship with Horacio, which doesn't make much sense. And again, I understand that there's maybe stuff coming that we haven't seen yet, but I've been saying this all season so far. And again, if what we saw this week was part of it as well, I just question the sanity of some people who are put on our television screens.
Yeah.
Because if the reason Nerys ends up not being friends with Olivia is because her brother said something from someone, which apparently is going around on the interwebs, that's a very specific person, and that she's not friends now with Horacio, that she doesn't trust him. Oh, you can trust him. My point about this argument was very simple. It was Olivia's problem was never, does he have my back? It was, I don't feel like we're friends now, and that upsets me. Yeah. It's not whether I believe, because she even said, I know you have my back. It was, I feel like I'm losing a friend here, and I don't know why or what I've done.
Yeah.
And Nerys is like, oh, that's fine, he's got you. And she's like, that's not what I'm trying to argue about, Nerys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so frustrating to watch. I mean, I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but it's just like one of these arguments that you get in with somebody, and you're just like, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying something vastly different than what you're perceiving me to say, because you have some alternate feelings as well. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. And the annoying thing that I had during this whole situation was they show Nerys and Horacio in the bed, like having a conversation. He's pulling a Jolly Green Giant move, says he doesn't care to talk to people. Okay, fine. But Nerys is sitting there telling him, oh, Olivia doesn't think that, you're looking out for her, which is not what Olivia has been saying. So now Horacio is getting the wrong information about why Olivia's mad. And thus we see this, tornado of a
100%.
Drama fest that was so dumb and pointless. Because the information isn't being shared correctly. And also, I just don't think Horacio cares to make her feel like she's his friend.
he's not here for anything other than competing in the challenge part of it. He wants to just lay in the bed, not talk to anybody, not strategize, because on the other show, I believe that's all you do. I haven't seen the other show.
Well, so that makes sense to me. That show he's on right now, which is pretty much just competition, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. They then show Kylan, and this is a direct quote from Kylan. He says,
I don't necessarily thrive in, like, a lot of social situations.
I do not thrive in social situations. Kylan, just to remind everybody, what show did he start on, Steven?
That would be Big Brother.
Oh, okay. And if you could remind just everyone, what is Big Brother? Would you say it's a strength game? Would you say it's a endurance game, sort of kind of like what Horacio's doing? Oh, you wouldn't.
No.
Okay. So what would you say the big thing is that you need to do for Big Brother?
You know, I don't watch it a lot, and by a lot I mean ever, but just from knowing that Big Brother sucks, I know it is basically purely a social game.
Yeah, and Big Brother does suck, and Kylan is just proving that point yet again. And now he's on his second season of the challenge, which is, let's be fair here, half the strength endurance thing and half social. If you don't thrive in social, why are you putting yourselves on these shows? The show that Horacio does is available. That show exists. American Ninja Warrior. Knock yourself out. You don't need to be talking to any of those motherfuckers.
Go to that one. And I'm sorry if you go, well, the reason I feel like I'm being attacked is because I don't have a good social game. That's not at all why you're being attacked here, sir. That's not at all why you're being attacked. And if you can't see the reason you're being attacked, I say you should sit down and watch this episode. Because you gave a lot of reasons in this episode to do that.
Yeah.
You continuing to talk at the end of the daily.
Thank you.
You yelling at Corey, oh, you're playing a scared game. And Corey's like, Mixie, I can't believe I'm defending Corey like 2 episodes in a row here. But he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, tell him, Corey. Tell him. No, as a matter of fact, that's the opposite of a scared game.
Thank you. You know what? Let's get into this because I wanted to talk about this. I guess we're bouncing all over for this part of the episode.
Let's go.
Who gives a shit? I want to talk about this scared thing. Like, you're playing a scared game. That's a scared vote. Blah, blah, blah. Nerese says the guys are scared. Kylan says the guys are scared. If they were scared, wouldn't they not make a big move like this? Wouldn't they have gone for a James or an Emmanuel or somebody that's lower hanging fruit?
Yes.
Because that would have been easier. Right. Now they have awoken a beast or whatever you want to say. They have showed their cards that they don't want him in the final.
Yeah.
And if and when he comes back, which they already have like a 1 in 3 that he's going to go in.
Right.
So it's highly likely he will show back up. By doing that, they're putting themselves in a way worse position than if they had just done the easy thing. So I don't understand why they're referring to it as scared.
I'm sorry. Let me answer that for you because it's very easy.
Okay, thank you.
To put it in just really simple terms, I guess you could say they're just making shit up. They're just making shit up is basically what it is. It's one of those terms I feel like you just throw out there. And it's just, it serves whatever purpose you feel like. And your followers or the community that you like will go on and use that and be like, yeah, that is a scared game because I like that person. They say this, so I believe that. It's the whole sheep thing, basically.
Yeah.
And so, no. You telling me people, a scared game would be to put Horacio in? That's basically like saying, hey, we're going to put Bananas or Wes or CT in. Mm-hmm. Nobody would say that's you're playing a scared game by doing that. They would say, as you clearly stated, a scared game would be saying the same person over and over again when they are not a threat in the final.
Yeah.
Horacio, Kylan are proving they are threats in the final to all the other guys. So Why would I say it?
And they're clearly not going with the alliance that they have said that they're a part of.
Yes.
They've already shown their cards to not be 100% working with them, which so has Mariah, everyone. I don't know why we're also skating by that, but whatever. I just, the whole thing really fucking pissed me off. It really did.
That's the best way of describing it. There wasn't a lot going on in this episode, but there was a lot to just, really grind my gears and get mad, as you just said. Get mad at the fact that, you're playing a scared... For you, Kylan, it's playing a scared game. Okay, I would have loved if Kylan got eliminated and we got to talk to him on this episode. Because I would have been like, well, what's the non-scared game move there?
Yeah.
What would be the move?
No, the non-scared move in his mind is just doing whatever he wants.
Right. So saying James, how would that be a scared move? James is not a threat.
We've already solidified that James has 0 endurance.
Yeah.
So, him being in the final is actually great for everyone.
And there becomes this concept sometimes from some people who are like, oh, I want to compete against the strongest people in the end to prove that I'm a worthy. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Fuck you. No. If it is a pure just, hey, we're going out on a sports field, we're going to compete, there's nothing on the line just for pride, sure. But you know what? If there's $1 million on the line and I ain't splitting it with somebody, you better believe I don't want any fucking competition there, and I'll do it's a game.
I would argue if it was my second or third, or I've already won 2 or 3.
Yeah,
sure. But guess what? The whole theme of this season is none of these motherfuckers have won. I'm trying so hard to understand the thought process here. Please, listeners, let me know what I'm missing here because I don't get it. I do not get it. In my opinion, going after the strong people is the best strategic game. It is not scared. It's incredibly risky. I mean, think about it. How many seasons ago was it that Michelle took a shot at Laurel? She's still paying for it.
Yeah.
Would you guys have said that's a scared move?
That's kind of the point we're making, everyone. That sometimes you don't do it because it will lead to some repercussions down the line. And sometimes it's far too early in the game to do that. Mm-hmm. If this was week 3 and they didn't really understand the format, then maybe I'd be like, I don't know yet. There's a lot of game. He can come back and then ruin your season for the next couple of weeks. But they're also sitting here going, listen, we've done 12 of these things. There's not going to be another 10 of them at this point. I can't believe.
Yeah.
And we just did 2 girls, so it's probably going to be 2 guys now. So the girls are safe for a little while. Mm-hmm. So I need to take advantage when I can. We just had Laurel and Cara. One of these guys has got to be motherfucking CT at this point, right? And they're probably guessing who the other person is.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's just very frustrating that I feel like people are buying into Kylan's perspective on this because he feels like he's an outsider in this group because he chose to be an outsider in this group. He was in the group.
I agree. I understand and I get the whole, we need to get a second alliance to go against Jay. Yes, you guys are at the bottom of the totem pole. You've already showed your cards of not working with him. At this point, you need to split off and do your own thing. But don't refer to it as scared. Don't refer to it as all of these things that you're fucking mouthing off about. Thought you didn't like to be in a social situation, yet you insert yourself in. Okay. I understand that point of view. It's just if you're going to do it. And don't be a little whiny crybaby calling other people scared when they come after you when you've drawn a line in the sand clearly that you're not working with them anymore.
That's it. That's all it is. I understand if he was in that alliance and he's like, hey, I know we're all working together, but do any of us really want to see Horacio in a final?
Yeah.
No. Let's take our shot now.
Uh-huh.
That would be completely understandable. But because he's not in the group, now it doesn't suit him because he realizes he's the only other man besides James who's not part of that group.
Yep.
So if they lose Horacio, then it's always going to be him every single week, which it's already been so far. Mm-hmm. So, maybe just fucking win a daily. I don't know.
Well, gosh, we can't jump to things like that, Steven. Speaking of dailies, I want to talk about this daily. Get tanked.
Do you want to try that again? Let's try that again. I might be more ready this time. Ready?
Oh, okay. The daily. Get tanked.
Get stuffed. Get stuffed.
Get stuffed.
Get stuffed.
Obviously, just stealing that from the number one.
Love you, Troy.
just getting it again. Just picking things off our dead carcasses left and right.
I don't blame them. We're smart. We're creative. And we're humble. I liked this daily. I thought it was fun. I wish that there's something in this daily that I felt was missing.
Okay.
When they explained it and they showed it, I was like, oh my God, like they're going to be in this massive tank.
Yeah.
The three of them swimming around in there. That is not what it was. They separated the tank into individual. I wanted all three of them in there.
Now, I will say this because I did not think this at the time. Pardon me. But those tankers are already divided like that anyway.
Oh, are they?
This looked like it was a gas oil tanker, and those are divided into different types of gas you can get at the pump. So there's like the regular, the plus, and the premium.
Oh, here we go. Now I'm going to have questions. Now it's the learning part of our podcast. Why would they do that? I have always, throughout my entire life, thought that they were one. Each tank was like its own gas thing.
So you
Can't
thought
they put a fuck ton of gas? It's because I found out recently that the gas is underground. That they like pump it into the ground.
What?
Oh, yeah. When they go to the gas... Dude. Oh, man. Okay. So they go... They drive
No.
little fucking... Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Keep going.
Okay. They drive their little fucking gas tanks up to the gas station, and you see how they're like parked not at the tanks. They're parked like outside of the tanks. And then if you've ever looked at a gas station, there's like these huge fucking circle holes that are in the ground.
Yeah.
They take a tube and they open the circle and they shove a tube down there and they pump the gas into the ground, and then it goes up into the individual little like gas things.
Nixie, obviously this is what's always been going on. What do you mean you just found this out? What are you talking about?
I did. I just found this out. I thought...
Hold on. You thought they were pumping it in the little thing? And it's just sitting... No, you fucking didn't.
I straight up did.
No, you fucking didn't.
Why would I have ever thought anything more than that?
Take in the ground? Under the ground?
I didn't know where it was coming from. I thought that's why they had like... It was this big fucking square.
Every single week. There's something. That just blows my mind that you don't know about life. Every week.
I just feel really dumb, okay? But, like, why would I have thought more into it than that?
Because you're putting 15 gallons of gas. You think every one of those things has got, like, 100 gallons of gas sitting in it?
No,
you really thought it was in the thing?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I just figured they refilled it every day.
No.
What they're doing is smarter.
Obviously, for safety purposes, it's very smart.
Well, because how deep down... I won't get into my thoughts on that. Long story short, I thought each tank had one thing of gas and, like, rolled up to each of the little fucking individuals and filled up their... whatever was in their tank with the... It was one gas... I feel like that's more dangerous to be driving around with like different gases.
There's a big divider in the middle that we saw in this episode that blocks them. That there's the regular
what if it mixes?
And then the premium. No, there's different tanks down there.
No, I get that, but like you're gonna sit here and tell me like, oh, they back up and they might hit like a little bit of a wall, or they hit a curb and something comes loose, and then they just like whoop and they mix.
There's a huge steel wall between all of them in the middle of that tanker.
How big is the wall? What? That just seems like it's taking up space. Just fill it all up with one gas. Logistically speaking.
It's just every week. I just love these. Every single week there are people sitting there going, what thing is it going to be this week from the number one?
It's never planned either.
People think this is rigged. Every week they're like, what did they script up this week?
Well, now I don't have any more comments about the daily because I thought it would have been way more fun if they were all swimming in one thing together.
Now, they could have probably maybe removed the walls from the tanker, possibly.
Well, now I understand why they didn't.
Or got a water tanker, which is just one big thing, but that was a big gas tanker, so... Oh, God, that's so delightful. My favorite part of that was, like, you thought you were teaching me something.
I did.
Because you were like, wait, I got one on you this time. You know those holes off to the side that you, like, run over? They pump it in there and it goes underground.
I really, I never thought about it. I'm sure somebody listening, this is the first time that they've heard this.
No chance.
Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out.
No chance. I'm sorry. I don't think there's anybody listening that's like, what? Maybe some kids in the back of mom's car.
Okay. I'm here for the kids.
Shout out kids.
We love kids. In a respectful way, we love kids.
Yeah, respectfully. Strictly platonic.
I feel like we should stress that.
Yeah.
Well, then, the other thing I was going to say was, in my opinion, strategy-wise, I felt like it would have been smarter for the person up top to collect all the letters, put them in order in a stack, and then lean over once and just bing, 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 bing.
Could be. Could have done that. I think they needed to know what other letters they were missing. I like this because there was lots of opportunity for different strategies.
Yes.
Than just one, here's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. We're going to drive out the back of a thing on a 4x4 and just drive fast, you know, one of those type of things. So you had that strategy. If you noticed, a lot of those tiles were also blank in there.
Yes, I did see that.
So there was a top and bottom that was like blank or had the letter, and then there was some that were just blank, and then there were some that were underneath the water line that had letters. So that was a little tricky that obviously somebody in the third and fourth group heard about. So they were able to do that. But I like this. I like the fact that just the logistics of doing this had to be very tough to put together. They had to wrap that tanker. They had to get like a big printer to like wrap the tanker with the challenge logos on it and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. They had to strap some poor camera op in there for God knows how many hours with a GoPro in each of those little sections to film. It was just like strapped to the wall or something like that.
Probably. That was probably hell. To film that.
Getting sick and sick and sick. Imagine he just throws up in there. They got to drain all the water out and refill it up again.
Well, it's in sections, so it would be easy.
Yeah, it is now. You're learning that now.
I was entertained. I thought it was fun. I loved Ed coming up with like a grid system. My guy, Ed. I feel like I'm starting to see more and more stuff on Twitter of people being like, wow, Ed's really good. I called it. I said it, and I'll fucking fight you all on it. My guy with his bitch pleases has been crushing this season, and I want him on every season. He is an all-around great person.
Are we following Ed on Twitter?
I don't know if we are. Now. He just got engaged. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Shout out.
Probably because last episode was like, is he married? He's married. He's not married. He was like, I'll take care of it. You don't have to worry.
Yeah. Does Ed even have...
I don't even think he has a Twitter. He's an absolute icon. He thinks like a challenger. I just, every time I see him in a daily, I love watching him.
Yeah.
He's well-rounded as fuck.
And he's just fun. You can tell he's just always there having fun, you know. He's never getting too pressed. He's not yelling after a daily, you know, like Kylan is. Oh, why do you play scared move? I'm Kylan.
He's playing like an absolute legend, and I love to see it.
You know, I just thought of this because I'm looking at my notes here about like him holding court. You know, he's always going around and like trying to talk to people and stuff like that. And he had this argument, quote unquote, with Jay.
He doesn't do well in social stuff.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. That doesn't look like somebody who doesn't do well in social situations. That looks like somebody who's trying to make excuses for themselves. That's what it looks like to me, honestly.
I don't understand it.
Accept the accountability that you got distracted from Team USA because Melissa was hot. You started trying to protect Melissa and Big T when nobody wanted that. And so you ostracized yourself, SAT word, and then you kind of created your own little faction, and that's why everybody's been pissed at you. Just admit that. That's all we want.
I will give him credit. Killed it in the elim. He's been doing great in these eliminations he's been put into. It's not like he's being helped through it. That's on him. Yeah. And I'll give him credit where it's due. Last thing about the daily. I thought it was funny how they threw for Horacio. That is how you throw. That is a time when you could accuse somebody of throwing, everyone.
And honestly, it didn't look like anybody accused them of throwing in this one.
No.
Other than themselves.
Nope. Yeah. Jay had to be like, I wonder why he's losing. And Michelle's like, sorry.
I just couldn't find that H down there, just rumbling around in the back of this pickup truck. Things get a little weird.
She kept being like, I don't have it. And it'd be like floating next to her.
You need an H? And she's like pushing an H away.
Don't have it.
You need a Q up there? You need a Q? How about a Z? What are you trying to spell again?
I am trying to spell FULLMOON because Jay gave us a full moon on top of the tanker coming this week.
Yeah, let's go.
Ass of the week. Of the week.
I had no idea what you were trying to spell. I had no idea.
I had it written next to me, and I looked at the letters as I said it, so I know I spelled it right. Otherwise, it could have been a 50-50. I can't spell.
It's like F-U-L-L, full, and then you went M. I was like, full. And I was like, she's spelling something wrong. Oh, I know where she's going with this. Let me get the sound effect ready.
Yeah, he smacked it and everything.
Yeah.
Bare cheeks on a fucking Wednesday. This is how we like them.
We do.
A little hump day, full moon. Thank you, Jay. It's his first Ask of the Week, and we will see if it is his last. Who knows?
It could be. It could be. The other things I wanted to discuss briefly here. Mm-hmm. This worked out kind of well for Olivia.
Yeah.
Because Olivia could very easily, and what she did, blame everyone else because she was clearly outvoted, right, in this.
Well, was she outvoted or did she just not have a say? She let the other three go and then she was like, can I persuade you?
And so it was the two guys who were the vocal ones, right? Uh-huh. And then it kind of looked like Berna and Bertha was agreeing with them.
Yes.
Right? And so I'm like, okay, 3-0. So even if she's trying to fight for him, which I kind of believe she did because she said, there's no way I'm going to change your minds, right? And they go, no. She's like, okay.
Yep.
You do that. And so each week when one of these happens, I think it's funny that the person or people aligned with whoever got their name said thinks one person is going to just all of a sudden like mind fuck these other people into like changing their minds.
Yeah.
She's just going to like grab their shoulder and look into their soul and go, we're going to say James. And all of a sudden they go, you know what? I think we should vote for James now.
Yep.
That's what these people are expecting because they don't understand how numbers work, clearly.
I guess not. Maths is not their forte.
That's why they're on reality TV, I guess.
I guess, but social is not his forte either. Who knows?
Not his forte.
I think Olivia played it well. At one point, she specifically says, is there any way to persuade you guys? Like, just to be like, I tried, but like, the way that she said it was like, I'm not really trying.
So, hey, cameraman, you rolling? Is there any... You weren't rolling. You said you were rolling. God, okay. Are you rolling now? Yeah. Okay. You sure? Is there any way I can try to persuade you out of it?
Yeah, that's exactly. And I don't blame her, girl. Do what you got to do.
She's feeling very left out, and I feel that 100%. She definitely doesn't seem to be the person that we necessarily saw in the last season, where she had this like person like with her who's going through the shit together with her. She feels very alone and on the outside here, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing playing out about this. Another great moment is Zaza, our girl Zaza, and I forget who else it was. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the moment. Had pulled James aside, and they were like, listen, we need to talk to you one-on-one without Mariah. We think if you say, Jay...
Colleen.
It was Colleen. We can change the house, because if you do it, and everybody else does it, we have enough votes to say that. And he's like, well, I don't really like to play politics in here. I just want to compete, you know. By the way, I don't want to like rub salt into the wound.
I saw. We don't have to discuss it actually. So
well, in case people are not members of the hottie community,
they see it and it's fine, and we don't have to put it on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I just feel like that this particular vote didn't need to be discussed on the podcast.
Which vote are you referring to?
Just the vote that you could possibly be referring to.
Let me just throw one out there, and you tell me if it's the one.
No,
I'm
I don't even think that needs to happen. I just think that we can move forward without that.
Okay.
Okay.
What a well-handled situation.
I don't know what's happening.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
Did you know that tankers have sections in them, and that the gas goes in the ground?
Do you want that poll though? Do you want to get like one pity vote?
I'm not going to get pity votes. I'm telling you, Steven, some people aren't thinking about these things, and they just go and get their gas filled, and they go, oh, it's coming out of the hose that's connected to this big rectangle thing that probably has the gas in it.
For both sides. Both sides are connected to that same thing.
I figured it down.
How big do you think 15 gallons is?
Oh, we don't want to play this game.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You got all these cars pulling up, and they just never mind. All right, we'll continue down the lazy river of the challenge. 61-28 or whatever the number was. Anywho,
What?
61-29. 61-29. Anywho, that number doesn't exist because the poll didn't exist. 61-39.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back to following what we're not talking about.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. Yes. So James says, I see what you're saying. Okay, they're like, just don't tell Mariah. And I said, I can't wait for them to show him telling
James
Mariah.
telling Mariah within 5 minutes of him leaving that conversation.
Just immediately. Like, I thought they were going to make it like a little comedy bit, honestly.
That would have been hilarious.
I thought it was going to be like him going, okay. And then they were going to follow him, and it was going to be like a timer on the bottom, total elapsed time. And we're just going to follow him through the house. Yeah. There would have been like a little map on the screen just showing him moving through the house. He's like, hey, Mariah, guess what they just told me?
Listen, I'm not into politics, but...
I'm not into politics, but, they want me to vote for Jay.
And they told me not to tell ya. I do get into Melissa. I understand the critique. I do.
I do understand the critique. From what? From what poll?
I don't know. I do want to know, when they went to the club, Jay and Colleen were talking, and she just wanted to hear him say that she was like higher on his list and he wouldn't say it. No. But you know what he does say? There's too many people I'm aligned with.
Sounds like Jay's a fan of the number one. Big fan of the number one.
I wonder who's been saying that.
Our girl Mix, maybe?
Not us.
No, we would never say something like that.
No.
We would never say that we need 24 episodes of this show.
I actually can specifically tell you I have never said I needed 24 episodes of this show.
I honestly don't think anybody's ever said that.
That is...
Other than MTV.
Unless we bring back bus footage. And then we can have a conversation, because I know shit's going down on that bus.
Well, they're making them shut up on the bus is what we've
whispers are whispering.
Okay. So I want
What
to.
do they do? Got like a sniper in the fucking passenger seat? Like, don't fucking talk.
Shut your fucking mouth. Spraying them with like a little squirt bottle that you
Like
spray
they're
at
cats?
dogs and cats. Yeah. No. Bad.
Shut the fuck
Mariah.
up.
Bad. No, you don't talk about that. You wait till we get home and we put you in the room to talk about it. Anyway, we don't see James talking to Mariah, sadly.
Yeah.
But what we do see, they switch to the next scene, and then just Mariah shows up in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of like, ooh, who's walking in? I was like, ooh, who's it going to be? And it's Mariah, and she closes the door. She's like, so James told me that. I was like, yes! 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 I like that better, honestly.
That's on Zaza and Colleen. They can't go and talk to James until like 5 minutes before they're about to fucking do the vote.
What a dumb, like, Zaza.
Come on, girlies.
Come on.
We like ya. Proper fit. My type on paper. But come on.
Come on, mate. Just not really smart. Not too smart there. This is when Jay goes to Kylan and they sit down outside and Jay's pumped. He's like, now we're playing the game. I was like, this is great. This is great. We're just, you guys are sitting there. You're yelling at each other. And they cut to Kylan in a ITM, which is becoming my least favorite part of the show very quickly.
Oh, easily.
And he was like, you know what? I just don't like the way he's coming across. I just think he's coming at me. I just don't like the way he came at me. He goes, bro, just don't throw a fit about it. And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah,
What? You're saying don't throw a fit about it?
I'd also argue he wasn't throwing a fit at all.
No.
He was like excited. He's like, okay. And I'd
Yeah.
also like to state Horacio was not offended that he was put in. The only one that was pissed was Kylan.
Yeah. Because he knew, because he's bad in social situations, obviously.
Yes.
He wasn't going to change anybody else's mind. Because if they had put in Kylan and the House vote was between Horacio and other people, I think there was way more people who might have not said Horacio than Kylan. Because people tend to like him more. But then he was going to have to sit there and watch everybody say his name, which sucks. I get it.
Yep.
But you just said don't throw a fit. Let me remind you, 20 minutes earlier on this show, sir, you threw a fit at the end of the daily because they didn't even say your name. It's just the least favorite part of the show. I just want to be able to like selectively mute when his ITMs are on. So I just go, nope.
It's painful. The thing that sucks is like watching him compete again in this elimination. It was entertaining to watch. He's entertaining in the like one-on-one things when he's not talking.
I feel like they're trying to set him up to be like the male like Arby's manager at this point. I'm getting nervous about it.
You know, he's using her phrases. That scared game comes from her.
God, it's awful. It's just it's worrying. The next thing we had was you said the club night when everybody's out of the club. The biggest thing was it seemed like finally Horacio and Olivia talked.
Yep.
What did you take out of this? Because there was the whole conversation before where it was Jay, Michelle, Nerys, and Olivia. And again, it felt like Nerys was not getting the point. It started making me continue to like waver from her side of everything because she's being blinded by the dick here at this point and not seeing clearly through the pubes, you know, the forest through the trees, all that stuff.
That's a really nice dick, though. Like, that's like a top tier dick.
Gotta be. And she's also in that category.
Yeah.
Too. Again,
so,
like, why are we surprised that two hot people like each other? Stop selling us on this, like, crazy love story. Like,
will they? Won't they?
Shocking. Yeah. What? Now, if Horacio had like one leg and like a patch eye, I get it, right? But
he doesn't.
He looks the way he looks.
He very much does not have those things.
No, neither does she. Like,
I'm going to say the same thing on the situation that I said last week. I think all of this could have been avoided if Olivia went to Horacio or if Nerys went to Horacio and said, please go talk to Olivia. Why are 3 out of the 4 people at this table that are talking about this They're not involved.
Yeah, that was right. Even Michelle at the end, she goes, this is not an argument about me and Jay.
Yeah. Why? I think that's on Olivia. At this point, it's also on Horacio because he clearly knows that this is going on and he's still not going and talking to her.
I kind of think Nerys, while they were laying down, and for some reason he had his legs up in the air. I don't get that at all. And by the way, the interlocking of the arms, well, gross. Anywho, just again, we get it. You guys are hot. You like each other.
It's
move
good
on.
blood circulation when you put your legs up on the wall like that.
Oh, well, see, there's something I didn't know. You got me on that one. Very good. Point for Mix.
I did it.
Point for Mix. Anywho, I think Nerys at some point was probably like, you need to talk to her. She's having an issue with this, and this could come back to hurt your game. And he's like, I just don't want to have these conversations. I'm kind of shy. I don't like to talk. And she's like, yeah, but you're on the wrong show for that, buddy.
Which I agree with her on. But that goes back to what I was saying before. I don't think she gave him the issue Olivia's having correctly because I don't even think she understands the issue that Olivia's having.
Correct. I forgot about that.
But again,
as always,
all of this could be resolved if Olivia went to him or if he went to her, but neither of them want to do that.
Yeah.
And I can kind of understand why Olivia doesn't want to the more I think about it because she's feeling like her friend isn't there for her. Mm-hmm. And by him not coming to be like, hey, I'm here for you, he's not there for her, and he's proving 100%. The point.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy on both sides of it. You know?
Yeah.
Which I completely understand. Mm-hmm. We have the vote. We already talked about the vote. I thought it was quite funny that there was this whole buildup for like 800 hours, it felt like, that, oh, maybe Jay's going to finally get put in, and that it doesn't happen. And honestly, it wasn't even close.
Yep.
I thought it was also quite funny in the lead up to this that Nerys is talking to Jay, and she is saying, well, you know, I can't say Kylan because I'm his number one. And then I'm like, huh? Kylan? You're Kylan's number one?
I'm not following.
How does the Fantastic Four feel about this?
Yeah. Yeah.
How would Asaf feel about this? Because you just said you are protecting Jay, Horacio, and Kylan, which seems very counter to the ideals of the Garbage Pail Kids.
I don't understand.
And if I'm Jay, I feel like I have to have a conversation with the other 3 at this point and be like, I'm nervous about this.
I would bring Olivia in over Nerys.
She seems more loyal at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just exposed the fact that the 4th guy in your group is Asaf.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that got enough attention.
I agree with you. It was very much blown over. Also, there was a point where Nerys said that she's been friends with Jay for 5 years.
Yeah. How?
These numbers are not numbering. I was very happy that Colleen decided to go with Kylan. It was smart for her at the time. I do think Corey helped her with that.
Yes, that was a big brain move by Corey.
It was.
Honestly, what do you think? I thought it was the smart decision there.
I agree. It was the smarter decision. It was not the time and place for her to do that. And also, to be honest with you, the only reason Colleen got voted in last week was because the 2 people that were lower than her had won.
Yeah.
And the only option was Raven or her. So, I mean, I get where she's coming from. I think she should do exactly what Corey said. Wait till chaos is over. Go into the next level of the fucking ladder, wherever the hell we're going with this. I think it's Conquest or some stupid shit.
Yeah, he said it, and I was like, how does he remember that from week 1?
They probably have it like on a poster in the bathroom, like whatever the first one was. Come, chaos, Conquest.
They closed the stall door, and it's right there, all the levels.
Yeah, like big fucking letters just flashing at them.
Hold on, I want to ask you this. This just reminded me of in college. Did you live in a dorm during your years at college?
I did, yes.
Okay, so my freshman year, I lived in a dorm. And when you would close the stall door, there was like a newsletter for, I feel like the dorm, maybe. It was either the dorm or like, I think it was just for the dorm. But it was like posted inside the stall door. Did you have that as well?
Ours wasn't as PG as a newsletter. There was a lot of stuff about STDs.
Oh.
A lot of stuff about like cleaning up after yourself. And some, like classic sex ed that would be great to have inside of a stall. But it wasn't like, what's going on in the quad this week? But
yeah, I feel like I had more of that. I had less blowjob tips and more.
They weren't really blowjob tips. It was more like, does the bump on your vagina look like this? It could be this. Go to our doctor. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Get a salve for it.
Did you bleed all over your pad? Don't throw it on the ground. Try a trash can.
It's literally right next to you.
That was more of the stuff that was inside of our stills. It was good reads,
Oh God, that was pretty good. I liked that a lot. That was great. The final part I want to talk about this deliberation thing. Nerys just finally realizing, I think for the first time, that maybe all the graphics we've seen all year long are going to come back to haunt her. Because she said, well, if I vote for Kylan, I'm fake. If I vote for Jay, I'm fake. And if I burn, it hurts Kylan. And I go, welp. Don't know how that's Jay's fault, but
somehow it is,
Somehow he made too many friendships.
Didn't she say some shit about how Colleen was playing the fence?
Yeah.
Or playing both sides, and that's literally what she's doing? These people are so...
Literally both sides. Honestly, if you didn't start hooking up with Horacio, guess what? You wouldn't have had any problems. Mm-hmm. It would have been much easier for you.
Yep.
And honestly, that's the things about the vets that these young people do not understand. It's like, yeah, it might be fun to like hang out and hook up. Like Kylan's game got ruined because he started hanging out with Melissa. That's just what it is, right?
Jay called it. Jay said it point blank. He said the same thing about Horacio, too. I mean...
It would have been all fine and dandy. James would have been gone. All these other people would have been gone by this point.
Mm-hmm. I think Michelle would have been in a big issue as well if the Callum thing didn't implode on her very quickly.
Mm-hmm. And she had to, like, defend Callum at some point in a vote. You know what I mean? That's kind of the issue.
Yep.
And that's why the vets, when they come into the game, they're just like, nope, not doing that. Unless we're going to check the pipes in the bathroom area for a quick second, then, other than that, we're fine. Mm-hmm. So the vote happened, and now we get to the elimination floor. Brad is here. We get Brad's movie trailer.
Yeah, Duck Dynasty came. Yeah.
Whew. Now, let me say this. Brad is thin, but he is shredded.
Yeah, no, he seemed like he was in great shape. I was happy to see him. I wish that he trimmed his beard a little bit, but we can't win them all. I said the same thing about Wes, but I still would hide my body inside of his beard.
Yeah.
Smash.
I
want to take the opportunity of this time to discuss some fashion things that happened.
Okay.
There's a few things. First off, did you notice what was on Mr. TJ, the handler's collar?
I did not.
It was a bee.
A bee? A letter B?
Oh, no, sir.
A animated bee?
It was a cartoon bee.
What?
I mean, the man just knows how to get people wet,
Someone's getting wet.
Wow.
Someone's going to get soaked, and it's my pants when TJ has a bee on his collar.
Yes, her name is Mixie, TJ.
Population over here. I need the information on that shirt. It's like very small, and it was tasteful.
Should we reach out? I feel like we could reach out and get more information about the bee
I'm
shirt.
gonna need that. I think I'm gonna marry Chase in that shirt. Secondly, whatever the fuck Ed had on, I need the details to that outfit.
Love it. What a fit.
He's an absolute icon. I'm telling you guys, Ed can't miss. He truly cannot miss.
You know what? I think I know where he got that shirt. I'm going to quickly look and see. I'm going to go to danflashes.com. Shout out if you know what that's about. Shout out if you know what that's about.
Now, it's to my not so happy part of the fashion segment. Neresa's shirt made me want to punch her in the face.
Okay.
Did you see what it said?
Oh, did I see what it said?
That's annoying.
It's
just annoying. I mean, she can get away with it because she is hot, so I get it. But, like, fuck you.
right.
Go ahead, Steven. You were going to tell them what it said?
Well, the shirt said, hating me won't make you pretty, right? Yeah.
Yes, it did.
That's a 0 out of 10 move.
I hate
That's honestly why people mostly hate you.
Uh-huh.
Is because you do shit like that.
Yeah. What was the point of that?
What was the point? Who's hating on you?
Yeah.
I get it. If like a whole mob of the girls this entire season have been picking on you.
She's fucking cruising.
And then you just wear that like, oh, let me get ready for my elimination. You take the other thing off and you're like, I'm going to wear this into the arena.
Uh-huh. Or win a daily.
That could also, that could also do it too. Yeah, I didn't like that move. That was a, I don't even know what type of move it was.
-1. You've lost a point in whatever.
She's won one daily today, this entire season, which is the least amount of anybody other than Olivia. Well, Olivia won this week, right?
Yep.
So her and Olivia are tied with 1. Also, on that same week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She was part of a group of 9 people that won the daily that she was part of.
There we go, everybody. But, you just don't like her because she's pretty, so.
That's the only reason. Not that she's, like, completely oblivious to the fact of what's really going on, cannot communicate clearly what Olivia's saying, and honestly just starting to, like, push your alliance aside for whatever reason.
Last but not least in the fashion segment, does Mariah own a shirt?
No. I mean, we know the answer to this. It's sports bras and sports bras only. And
we
tiny
have
tops.
yet to see a piece of clothing cover her first rib.
I don't think she's legally allowed to do that. There has to be a certain percentage of her body that is always skin. I think that's kind of part of it.
Her suitcase has got to be light as hell.
Oh, I don't even think she brought a suitcase. I think she just bought like a Publix bag, like
yeah, you could just shove
grocery bag,
50 of those things in a backpack and be ready to go to war.
And don't even get us started if she ordered one of those space bags. You just suck all the air out of the bag. She could have 800 of them in her little grocery bag.
So many bra shirts. Oh my gosh. I'm just waiting for the day that she wears a top, like a full-blown top.
Probably at a funeral, honestly. And
I don't
know. Even then, I don't know.
She's probably got a couple good black sports bras.
Yeah. She's like, well, Michael would have wanted me to be hot at his funeral,
I will say she has put on the uniform. Outside of that, I really, truly don't think she's worn a top.
No, and honestly, great for James. He doesn't have to, like, tell her to pop that top off, pop that shirt off. Any of those things, it's just always kind of popped off to begin with.
Exactly. If it lives off your body, then no problem.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the elimination. I put that it was mid.
Okay.
It just seemed a little lackluster. Again, I liked the build of it. I liked the idea of it. There really wasn't much strategy to it. It was more endurance.
No,
I would have liked if, like, the balls, you had to put all 10 of them in there, but it had to equal an equation that made something. Something
that it wasn't just whoever had the advantage at the beginning would probably had the advantage at the end.
Whoever put the exercise balls in order from 10 to 1 wins. I mean, they weren't even weighted.
Diet challenge. Easily diet challenge elimination.
Yeah.
And even that, it was like diet challenge. Like, there needed to be another component of that too. You're absolutely right. Some sort of math thing or something where there was a check, and if not, you had to like go outside and take them all out and put them back in again. Something that would continue that. Or once you did that, then you'd have to go outside and do something else as well. Yeah,
it just felt like it was part 1 and there was supposed to be a part 2 to it. I don't know. It was lackluster to me. I liked the concept of it, but if you're going to give them exercise balls, really? Like, not like weighted balls or something?
Yeah, but then allow them to do it in whatever strategy they want. Like, I thought Brad was going to take 2 up, but he didn't. So I don't know if they were not allowed to take 2 up.
Yeah.
But it seems like that probably would have been a solution at some point. He would have been like, I'm going to try to take 2. I know it might slow me down, but I need to pick up time at this point, right? So if I want to try to fit 3 of them on a level, I can do that, you know? But I don't think that's what happened. And honestly, again, a little disappointed with it. But at this point, I now know that this is what we're getting.
Yeah.
We're not getting that. So like next week when CT shows up, and as of you're listening to this, obviously we don't know what the elimination is. But like if they give him a hall brawl or something definitely physical, then to me it's just like, how did this get chosen?
Yep.
You give Greaseback Bun Babe one of those, and you give CT one of those. Again, missed opportunity. I know that sometimes the eliminations are vastly different from each other, but very, very interesting. And honestly, I felt bad for Brad because like
too.
this is again not Brad's specialty of what an elimination would be for Brad. I do think Kylan might have beaten him in some other things. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. He probably would have. But what is going on with these shoes?
That's why Jordan did
Jordan issue with the shoes. And now we have Brad struggling with the shoes. Are they Crocs? I'm so confused what they are.
Yeah, maybe they're not the right size. They want these people to go in with uniform shoes, which I would be totally against. You're going to make me put on just some random shoes to do something physical? No, I want my feet to be
brand
comfy.
New shoes?
Yeah, nobody wants to do that. Yeah, let me put on some brand new shoes before I go walk around Europe for 2 weeks. Great idea.
Like
see if your feet bleed.
Like, I don't understand. Is that really going to be that big of an advantage? It feels like we're putting the champs at a disadvantage.
Yeah. Well, they're already at a disadvantage.
I know. That's all stacked against them. Kylan wins, whatever. Yeah,
the desire of, like, do I really care about winning? Like, it wasn't really my season. Like, I don't know how much people would hold this against me. It is what it is. So
yeah, there was a point I do want to state that Kylan. It was either Kylan or Brad. Somebody was talking about how he made it to the final of the most recent season. Mm-hmm. He's in All-Stars 4, isn't he?
I don't. He probably is. I don't remember that specifically.
Do you think they had to Frankenbite that shit
they
together?
They might have had to do that. Yeah, because he might have said, I made it to wherever he made it there, or...
Because it was a little... It hit my ears weird when I heard that part, and I was like, they're hiding shit. Just fucking release things in order I don't understand. We're going to end on me getting pissed about the release date.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to do a quick PSA here that we've been meaning to talk about. A quick PSA for the ladies of the challenge.
Oh, God.
Stop giving your feet away for free, ladies.
Let my man work.
Put some fucking socks on. What are you doing? You're just showing them. Olivia's showing them. All the girls are just showing their feet. Put some socks on. People will pay good hard money for your feet, and you're just putting them on national television for free.
You can make back that money you guys have been losing during this whole situation if you just sold feet pics.
I mean, you saw it too. You're like, why do they keep showing their puppies for free? Mm-hmm. Lock them down. Put a sock on, for Christ's sake.
I feel like we're watching Nickelodeon. I can't believe how much feet is on my screen.
It's gross.
Yeah.
To me, for feet people, loving this.
They love it so much, it's free.
It's free. Hot girls, feet, free, basic cable, loving it. Lock them down. Put some socks on. Maybe a shoe, a comfy sock, maybe some little, the fingery socks, the toe socks. Something. But you got like the long pants on. I think sometimes somebody was wearing a hoodie, and I'm like, you got your feet out. Mm-hmm. It defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Get Mariah shirts. Get the girls socks.
Problem solved. Problem solved. We're just trying to help you make that bag, ladies.
That's all we're here for.
Okay. So now, magically, if you're watching on YouTube, watch this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh! Hey, look at us.
We are back.
Outfit
Crazy.
change.
Oh my gosh, you look so good. So do I.
Vogue. Pose. Vogue. Oh, yeah. And now, see, you would be seeing us Vogue and pose if you watch the YouTube video.
Oh, going at him right away, Steven. Tell him how it is.
Now, here's the thing. I'm just going to say, we only have a few more episodes left of this video trial before we determine whether this is going to happen. And I just got to say, unless these views are going up like we have figured out for audio, video will no longer exist. We'll record video to try to make social clips, but in terms of like a YouTube video where you're seeing our beautiful faces smiling at you with all the picture inserts and whatever I choose to do whenever I feel like it, that might be getting phased out. So if you're a video-only person right now, might be a good idea to go subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts right now. Just saying. You don't want to miss when I just pull the plug out and go, hey, we gave you an opportunity and you failed us, but just saying.
It takes a lot of time for Steven to do these edits, so we got to make it worthwhile. So if you could, subscribe, tell your friends about us, that would be great. We have a killer fucking episode to get into. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Daddy CT is back, looking extra daddy.
Can you tell me the difference between daddy and zaddy?
Yeah, so CT is daddy.
Okay.
Yes, and how can I describe this? The guy from The Bear, the guy from
Yes.
he is zaddy.
Okay, so what's the difference?
It's a vibe.
Huh? Oh, it's a vibe thing.
It's a vibe thing.
Okay.
Like, CT is hot, so he gets the addy. But just like the zaddy gets the addy, right? But daddy has like a bit of warmth in him. Like even like when CT was giving advice of you should also enjoy your time here. Like that's a dad type of energy.
Got it.
But it's still like I would absolutely bend over a coffee table and get railed.
Right.
But like, and then we embrace after. Whereas zaddy will beat me to a pulp and leave. But, and like beat me to a pulp, I mean like beat that pussy up.
Yeah, we got it.
To a pulp. Mom, don't listen to this. And then.
And then leave.
And then leave.
Yeah.
And maybe spit on you, maybe.
Yeah.
But like your mouth's open, so it's okay.
You're like, right here.
Yeah.
Spit in my mouth here.
Yeah.
They're not on the floor. Here.
Don't make this a social clip. My mom follows us on Instagram.
Oh, shit. That was the plan.
But yes, daddy versus zaddy. That's my personal take on it. Like, I guess there isn't really an equivalent for women.
No, you're just hot or hot.
There's varying degrees of hot. But, like, you wouldn't call a woman that you want to fuck respectfully mommy.
I don't think I'm doing much of that anyway.
Well, I'm saying just generally speaking.
I got you. Yeah.
Wait, you're not doing it, have you?
No.
But the way that you phrase that makes me feel like you might have been doing it in the past.
No, never. That's not a phrase that has ever come out of my mouth.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
No. If I did, I would feel totally uncomfortable the moment after saying it. Right?
Do you need a couple days of like distance?
Oh. I would just be like, please, I'll talk to you in a week.
I don't know what came over me.
I'll just talk to you in a week. I'm just going to leave now. Just going to grab my bag and I'm just going to go and I'll see you in a week and a half. And I definitely won't think about this all the time up until this point.
Keeps you awake at night. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the difference for like ladies is like, there's a difference between hot and beautiful and like sexy Like
and
there
cute.
are people who are like hot as shit that aren't beautiful,
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm. So
Why don't you give us an example?
I'd rather not.
Okay, episode 14.
Because
Don't
I
let
think
TJ
there are some
decide.
women who would prefer one versus the other.
Yeah, I think it's a personal preference type situation for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Episode 14. Don't let TJ decide. Maybe TJ would decide who's hot and who's beautiful. We'll have to ask him. Quite the episode because, as we said, Daddy CT is back, and it was a mini final. I feel like personally, it had all of the pieces to be a good episode, but yet I was snoozing at points.
See, that's very surprising to me. You said that just before we recorded. And in case you forgot, we watched these 2 episodes that you're hearing together at different times.
Yes.
So that's surprising because I felt like I was watching, and at a certain point I went, man, this episode's moving. There's a lot going on. And I looked down at our screener counter. It was only at 28 minutes. And I was like, never mind. I got a lot left to watch at this point, you know?
I guess, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I would love to hear the hotties take on this as well. There's just so much like pointless game talk to me that I just don't care. I don't care.
But you didn't feel like this week, like the ending part of the pointless game talk was, I don't want to say maybe entertaining, because I don't think the game talk is ever entertaining. Maybe insightful, because to me, when we'll just jump to that part since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
When Michelle is talking to Nerys and Olivia, and Michelle is upset with Nerys, rightfully so, and saying that you picked a side. Nerys is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not my fault. We're just 2 independent ladies out here making our own things. She's like, we both have the same number 1, and it's Jay, and you put him more at risk. And she's like, I don't know. That's not on us.
Yeah.
And then Jay walks in, and he's like, I think it's laughable that you don't even understand what you've done, and you won't be like, yeah. And it made me realize this is the epitome of Hot Girl Delulu world.
Yeah, I mean, that is Nerys's whole being is in Hot Girl Delulu land. I mean, so is Mariah. She did the same thing. I put here the irony of Mariah saying Olivia is playing the middle when she's fucking someone on the other side, and so is Nerys.
But I would argue now that James is not on the other side. You know, this is just like, it's like watching some amoebas underneath a microscope. And they just like merge into each other, and then they splice off. And you're like, oh, these are 2 different atoms. And then they fuse and they create a third. It's just so strange. But like that moment for me was so entertaining because I was just like, what is Nerys thinking? I've done that for the past couple episodes. But this, I'm like, girl, you had an opportunity to change, and you did when you saw things were starting to change.
I'm still so lost on, I mean, yeah, Hot Girl Delulu, a fantastic take on the whole situation, Steven.
Can't be my fault. I've never done anything wrong.
Mariah's pulling the same thing.
Yeah, I've caused 0 problems in my life ever. If anything, you're a hater, and you're jealous.
I'd argue Olivia's in there too, to be honest with you.
I think Olivia is a little bit like she's like trying to get in the pool of Hot Girl Delulu. She's got like 1 foot. Maybe she's like, I don't want to get fully in. I'm just going to sit on the edge of the pool and put my legs in.
Yeah, with her blacked out sunglasses that were prominent yet again this episode. We lost the eye patches. We brought back the sunglasses.
Did you see this poor girl's arms, Mixie?
Oh my God.
Who's hurting you, Olivia?
That shit was wild. Is that Emmanuel? Like, who is doing this?
You look right in my eyes, person doing this. Whoever did this to Olivia, you tell us. As a matter of fact, Olivia, I know you're watching this clip. Olivia, you tell me and Mixie, who did this to you? We will come, find that person, show them the photo, and go, this is what you're going to get. And we're just going to beat their arms till it matches your photo. That's what we're doing. An eye for an eye. A bruise for a bruise.
My money's on the harnesses that they keep being thrusted into.
She did say she bruises easy, but
Just
Jesus.
fucking her up. I mean, holy shit.
For me, at least, there were some very interesting parts, which gave us some great content. And we're going to start by playing a game called Is This a Shot? That's the name of the game. It's very easy.
All of the above.
I'm going to play a bit of audio. You're going to listen to the audio.
Okay.
And then you tell me, is this a shot? And this week's participant is Horacio. Horacio would be the person that this would be a shot at.
Got it.
Let's play some audio from our good friend, Emmanuel.
I'm not here for the attention and popularity. Horacio already got that.
This is good audio pool, Steven. I love this. This is what we like, content. He's not wrong, first and foremost.
Okay.
Emmanuel was on Ride or Dies, right?
Yes.
Or was, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was Spy Lies and Alice. No, was it with Berta Bertha? I don't remember now.
I mean, Horacio, I think we can all agree, came out of Ride or Dies as the new challenge golden boy.
Yes.
He definitely got the attention. I don't think that it's I feel like it's more of like a shot at his own, like, pride that he's exposing to people. I think he's like, Horacio already has all of that. I'm not going to get it. Type thing. I think it's a little bit of jealousy and also just like, I'm not going to even try for it because he's got it in the bag. Because again, he does. I mean, they oiled him up and put him on a bike. I don't know what Emmanuel wants from us.
Nothing other than that. Maybe he wanted to be oiled up.
Yeah, I think maybe he's just jealous. He just needs Berta Bertha out there throwing some oil on him.
Can we get our boy some oil to put on his body? Can we do that? I mean, he's not as tan, but, you know, we can still do it.
Did you think it was a shot?
I did think it was a little bit of a shot because he was like, listen, I'm not here for that. He's got that. I'm here to play the game. I think it was a little bit like, you know, he's getting the attention and the popularity. I'm just here. Now, I think where he's wrong is that Horacio doesn't want any of that.
Yeah.
He just wants to play the game, clearly. But he's getting the attention and the popularity. And Emmanuel's like, I don't want any of that. I just want to win money for my family. Which is, I think, the same thing that Horacio wants, but they just, you know.
That's why I think it wasn't a shot. That's why I can't imagine that Horacio has like a big head and is walking around that house like, I'm the hot guy from the challenge. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't. No. I can't picture him like that. I think he wants to just be able to play the game, but he can't. Exactly what you said. He also has no social game and keeps fucking himself. So
yeah.
Emmanuel's playing a fantastic game. So is Ed. And to be honest with you, Corey's been doing a great job recently too. All of these motherfuckers are freaking out and causing all of these scenes, and they're just going under the radar. I mean, the only reason that there was any sort of conversation about them this week was because James and Kylan were safe.
100%.
So, you know, I'm impressed with their gameplay. Honestly, this episode, I know they like are really trying in this edit to pit like it's Jay versus Kylan and like the people that are behind them.
Yeah.
I honestly, at this point, I'm not rooting for either one of them. I think both of them are being assholes. I think both of them have massive egos. I did not like at all the whole thing with Jay and Asaf at the beginning of the episode was very villainesque. And then like Kylan continues to do this thing where he's like, I can see they're down. Come to my side. I'll take care of you. And like just preying on people. I don't like either one of them. And I'm not rooting for either side anymore.
He's bad in social situations. How dare you?
Yeah, but yet Raven could grind on him this episode.
No.
What's up with that?
Stop. Listen, if there's two things we know about Kylan at this point. One, he can't do PDA because of something.
Interesting.
Even though
I just watched it this episode.
We watched it this episode
20 minutes ago.
And we watched it on an episode, you know, a couple episodes back where the same type of thing happened. But me kissing you on front of a stage, that's where the line gets crossed.
Yeah.
And we know he has a bad social game, even though he's trying his hardest to play the social game, which some might say he's doing well, but also, again, if I didn't have a good social game or I didn't work well in social situations, I would be doing the least amount of talking out of anybody on this television show.
Yeah.
He seems to be doing the most amount of talking that anybody has done on this television show.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's just a lot of bullshit on both sides. I do not want either of these people to win this anymore. Michelle's a lot more likable than Jay, and Michelle's been saying and doing some things that I'm like, girl, let's take a step back. Let's take a little breather here. Let's 1, 2, 3 in through the nose, out through the mouth a couple times. But Jay is just being a dick. Like, I think at one point when his name got put up for a limit, when they were debating who to bring down, he was like, who? Like, making faces at Kylan and shit. I'm just like, stop.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that, except if I was in his shoes, I would sit here and go, I've played such a good game. I've played almost a perfect game so far. And for me to lose it on like this weird, like one-off little thing, and I get dragged in on this one time, sucks. But that is what the challenge is.
That's the challenge, yeah.
Right.
And he's clearly not playing good enough of a game if he does get thrown in at least once. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with you 100 billion% on that. I can just see where he's like, I haven't slipped up enough. We've had the numbers, and this is the way it goes because this is the format of the season.
Yeah. I mean, they also haven't really lost any people up until this episode, so I think that was probably part of it as well. For me, though, it's just like the double standard. And I don't like Nerys, and we were just talking about all of that and that he got mad at Nerys, which I think is valid. But if the roles were reversed, and let's say Nerys is like, Jay, you're my guy, everything's good. We all want to vote for Michelle.
Yeah.
Is Jay going to vote for Michelle? Probably not, even though the rest of his alliance would want to, because why? That's his number one. So I get the anger, the whole like push away at the elimination. Like, it was just very dramatic and like a bit too much for me. All of it, like if it was just that push at the elimination or just the faces during the deliberation and all of that shit, sure. But like all of it combined, it's just becoming a bit much and a bit arrogant. And then I saw the pictures of him and his crew dressed at the reunion, and I'm like, these motherfuckers need to be taken down a peg.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm not disagreeing you on that. But him pushing away Nerys after she took zero accountability for getting their basically, it was pick one of these two people who are not in our garbage pail kids, us to the end.
Yeah.
Or you're giving us a 50-50 chance of one of us going in. Because you want to protect. We came in with this. You found love in here, which is fine.
Yeah.
But because of this, your alliances have changed, and you're not going to admit that. Yeah. You're like, oh, we'll still be fine. I love Horacio, and you guys are still my number one, but I'm also with Kylan. I'd sit there and go, that's 4 of us. There's like 6 guys left. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? Pick people and just say, this is it. But she's also was way over here on that alliance, and now she's like shifted all the way over because of what? Because of Horacio.
Yep.
That's it. That's all that's happened. Speaking of him and her, I would like both of us to recreate the noise we made when we saw them laying on the thing and Nixie's face, you guys. When we saw Nerys's leg just wrapped around him like a fucking anaconda, just like I'm gonna eat this boy that I have found in this pool. So, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I.
That's the noise she made. That right there. She went first.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, brother. That was mine.
It's the SpongeBob guy.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, this guy
sucks.
stinks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I just don't care. I have never cared. I continue to not care. In fact, I care less every time I see it, and I get more mad.
I do. I'm starting to dislike Horacio because of this. And if you would have told me at the beginning of the season, you would have been like, hey, you might dislike Horacio by the end of the season. I'd be like, what does he do to get me into that position? But I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, because you're with her, man, technically you're together.
This is what I'm saying, though. Like, this shit, this is when I was like, God damn it. Like, CT's coming. Can you give me more of that and less of whatever the fuck this shit is?
Like we did for Carr and like we did for Laurel. All these people are like, oh my God, I'm so worried.
My God, I was so fucking annoyed at that. But I did love the cutbacks to Olivia with her blacked out sunglasses. Did you peep the vape on the ground?
Oh, was there? Mm-hmm. I did not see the vape on the ground.
Yep, I
did not see the vape on the ground.
There's a water bottle, a vape, and her with her blacked out sunglasses on. I'm like, girl, get it.
I was like, stop trying to make her look like the third wheel. That was clearly from very different times.
Yeah.
Stop. Why? What does that add to the story if she's just there when she wasn't?
Well, clearly there's more coming with this. I mean, is there? Apparently this whole thing is the whole thing. I don't know.
The further this goes along, the further I'm convinced that it was, in fact, Nerys that like caused all this, and maybe it's going to be over nothing.
Yeah, it is. It's over this random person that gave it information to Nerys's brother, who then, like, that's it.
Well done with the air quotes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Steven and I know who gave that information.
How dare you? We wouldn't know that information.
We wouldn't know that information at all. But all I'm saying is that fuck them as a couple. Yeah. Nobody gives a shit. Stop trying to put it down our throats and stop trying to bring Olivia into it. Leave her alone.
Leave Olivia alone. She's had enough to deal with, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. God. Let's go to the mini final, where we definitely 100% randomly have teams of 4.
Stop. Just you stop right there.
There was a yellow team?
Nixie, you stop right there. Listen, I'm going to say it for the first time ever on this podcast. I'm starting to think these teams aren't random.
How could you have thought that?
I do good journalism. I don't just come on here and be like, hey, I don't think these teams are all that random. I do research as a good journalist would do. Journalism. Emmy up there.
Uh-huh.
Right? My Emmy's looking at me being like, you have to do good journalism or I'll walk out of this house.
What was it that could have tipped you off?
Well, I'm just going to go back a few episodes as I stretch my journalism right here. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Episode 11, the eating trivia challenge. Remember?
Yep.
Remember the challenge that that Raven girl was so convinced she was so smart at?
Mm-hmm.
That one. Let me get you the team there. James and Mariah were on a team together.
Weird. That keeps seeming to happen.
And Kylan and Michelle were on a team together.
That's super strange.
Now, I understand there's not a lot of people, so there's only a finite number of combinations. I'm not great with math, but I know those types of things. So let's just, let's go to episode 12. Let's go to episode 12.
Mm-hmm.
The water wall thing. Remember, you have to push the thing over the water?
Oh, yes, I do.
Let's take a look at what that team that all those people, let's see.
Could you give me that team?
Let's see. Mm-hmm. James was on that team along with Kylan, Michelle, and Mariah. Huh. Hold on a second. Was that the same? That was the same. Oh, that was the same team this week.
It was.
Now, episode 13.
Uh-huh.
Not on the same team.
Okay.
So 3 of the past 4 weeks, mm-hmm. James and Mariah have been on a team together.
Mm-hmm. But there is no possible way that the math is mathing there for it to be random. It's impossible.
So 3 of the past 4 weeks, James and Mariah have been on the same team with each other.
Yep.
2 of the past 3 weeks, when we make teams of 4, it's James, Kylan, Michelle, and Mariah.
It's crazy.
How is this not the conversation that Reddit is having?
I mean, they haven't seen it yet, so maybe that's why. But
I would not have an issue with this, Mixie, if we did not have Mr. TJ continuously saying...
Stress it, yeah.
These teams are random. They are not random.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
They're not. Don't say it. Don't say these are random teams, because 2 of the past 3 weeks, it's been the same 4. It's been James, Kyle, and Michelle and Mariah. And then 3 of the past 4 weeks, James and Mariah have been together. Mathematically, probably very tough with however many people are left at this point.
Impossible.
Okay? Just say these are the teams.
And then even if it was mathematically that's what was happening, you're as a producer, you're going to sit there and look at it and not be like, hey, this looks a little sketchy.
This seems a little sus.
Why don't we just very quickly switch at least one of them?
Pull one of them off. It's like jettison Mariah for 1 week or James for 1 week.
Colleen and Mariah. Boom. Done.
There we go. Right? Just change it up a little bit. I don't think Jay and Michelle have been on the same team.
They haven't.
I'm looking. I won't be able to go back through all of it. I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm like, just don't say it's random, and we'll all be like, oh, okay. Well, they set the teams up, and we'd be like, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just insane to me. Honestly, if you're going to clearly make these teams, just stop telling me they're random. Stop trying to gaslight me into thinking that they're random. They're not. Just move on.
She dropped the gaslighting term.
I did.
Folks.
I
Whoa. Did. But you know what? That is the exact definition of gaslighting.
It is.
It really is.
I can actually use it.
I hear so many people be like, you're just gaslighting. You're just gaslighting. I'm like, well, they're not gaslighting. They're just kind of lying to you. Gaslighting is this. This is exactly what gaslighting is, right?
Textbook. Yes.
Now, the only way it would become more textbooks is if we approached MTV and we're like, it was random. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yes. Yeah. If they double down and they like tweet and they're like, you guys don't know what you're saying. You don't know what's going on. Don't be an idiot.
Didn't you see TJ come out with the tiles that were not put in there in any order? You clearly saw him like just bring them out one by one, the way that they were stacked.
Oh my God. The tiles of it all. Do we need to get into the tiles of last episode?
Go ahead.
I will quickly make a statement on this. Did the number one catch this when we watched it? No. Did it happen? Yes. Does it matter? No. If they were going to have a problem with this, they should have either not put W's in the fucking tanks that we learned all about. They are made that way. And if they were going to put W's in the tanks, then there needed to be like an asterisk or some sort of marking as to where it was. Because you cannot... The people in the tanks can't see what's going on up there. And the people up there are upside down putting it in. So, no. And I will give production a pass on this because that is just a oopsie doopsie. Do you know how much shit these poor people are dealing with while this is happening? They're supposed to catch an upside down W. Give them a break. Get mad about real things that are happening that are being ignored. Okay?
Yeah, like somebody swinging a glass at somebody and still being on the show. Just being a miserable fuck the entire time. That's
a great example.
She swung a glass at somebody and glass went into 2 people's arms and she's still on the show. Yeah. But let's have a whole Reddit thread about the upside down M that was a W that a team shouldn't have won because they got the letter wrong.
That is a little insane, guys. I think we're getting a bit in the weeds. And I think you should be mad at the fact that there were even W's in there and not mad at them allowing that W to be given to somebody that used an upside down W.
Awful.
Anyways, the actual daily of this episode.
The daily of this episode.
Mini final. Yay.
I would like to know from any amateur challenge historians out there, is this the first time it's ever been referred to on the show as a mini final by like TJ? Because I think some of the people have been like, yeah, like
I think they did on Ride or Dies.
Did he say like this is your mini final?
I mean, I can't think back that deeply, but I do believe it was referred to as a mini final. Because Olivia was like, in our mini final last time, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. But I think Jay referred to it as that. I'm saying like TJ goes, this is a mini final. I don't think like
Interesting.
from the production side they've ever referred to it. The contestants are like, we'll probably have to run a mini final at some point. That was basically a mini final.
Yeah.
But like hearing TJ go, today is a mini final. I think that's the first time I've heard that. Not that it matters, but.
You know what this mini final reminded me of? And this is, I should get some points here for this. The Fresh Meat season that I watched where Wes was it's Wes's first season, you know what I'm talking about? And he kept winning all of those eliminations. It was this. It was like a long run with 2 or 3 checkpoints and you get bags that you had to take with you.
Yeah. I don't remember that specifically. That's a deep pull, but you just watched that.
I watched it like 7 months ago, but yeah.
At home, a round of applause. What are the streamers saying? Can we get W's in the chat? Can I get some W's in the chat from Mix?
hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell for Mixie knowing about the first season Wes was on, but not having watched any of the Cara Maria episodes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting there. If this fucking show didn't drop 4 seasons a year, maybe I could get there. But, I'm doing my best. I liked it.
I liked it a lot. I know you know a lot of things. You know so many of the things in the world, just in general.
I feel like this is sarcasm.
It is not. That part might have been sarcasm, but the question is a real question. Because you know so many of the things, I'm wondering, why do you feel like they didn't show us at home how far they were running? Because that was like the first 5 minutes of this is like, we don't know how far we're running. We don't know how far we're running. I feel like you could put, some, I figured it out because they're not going to put anything on screen that would inform the public of what's really going on.
There was like no graphics this episode. I think the graphics guy took a long holiday vacation. They talked about the Fantastic Four and the Garbage Pail Kids like 12 times, and we never got a graphic about it. Everybody's talking about who's in their alliance, and you're telling me that the graphics team couldn't make one alliance graphic? That's why we didn't know the distance. That's why we didn't know the time. That's why we didn't know what the fuck was going on. All of those checkpoints could have been in 3 minutes of each other. They could have been on another island that they swam to. We'll never know because they didn't give us any information.
I think you're onto something. I think the graphics people have been disappeared.
There was not a singular one.
Now, just the end where it's like the CT versus, Asaf thing. That was the only graphic
But that's like a
we
baked-in graphic that they already have. They just got to change the names in the pictures.
Yeah, there was nothing new. There was no graphics in this.
That's a template that they have. I'm telling you. I couldn't believe there was not a singular graphic unless the graphic guy was so busy blacking out Olivia's sunglasses that he did not have time to make graphics.
I really think that's what it was. He was just like,
probably.
Why did we have to put the shot in there? You're just making it look like a bum third wheel. Like, get her out. Just take her out of the edit.
Then she was sitting at a table and she had the sunglasses on top of her head. And you could see they tracked the movement when she was like moving her head. The black is like moving with it. I was like, oh.
They had to 3D it to get that plane right. Oh, those poor people.
Yeah, so they couldn't make graphics.
I think they got to the end of the year. They didn't get a Christmas bonus like Clark W. Griswold did, right? And they're like, we're out of here.
That would make sense.
We had to pre-do all of her glasses for the entire season. You got that, but everything else you find other people for. I think that's what really happened here.
I mean, the graphics person was not there when this episode was edited.
Two things that I really like, 2 major points about this daily that I really like, the mini final. One, they made everybody keep their hand on the pole, hey-o, the whole time. So it's not like you run ahead, I'll bring up the rear, and I'll run like with my hands on my hips or my hands over my head. No, you have to keep a hand on the thing. I saw that multiple times. So get your hand.
Firmly grasp it. I got all the SpongeBob memes this episode.
They must be the only ones to saw off the rope. So nobody else could be like, hey, I did mine. Let me come help you with yours.
Yes.
I really like that point as well.
You know who didn't like that point was Colleen. We had a Colleen Michelle down, everybody, at the rope.
That poor, she had so much extra rope up there. I was wondering what's happened. And I honestly got angry for Colleen because Jay and Ed are like, hey, just keep going. And she's like, how about you just shut the fuck up? It's not. Of course, I know what I need to do. I'm just telling you, you fucking idiot, it's not working.
Yeah. I mean, again, the way that they shot this whole scene, first of all, hilarious. When everybody is like rubbing on the saw and you just see bodies dropping. That shit was so funny.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Nerys was one of the first ones that just like fucking ate it. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
The way that they shot this whole section it was hard to see what was going on with the ropes, but it was not hard to see Bertha with her ass cheeks out becoming this week.
Oh my goodness!
Ass of the week. Ass of the week. She's back. She's there. She's got a wedgie, and she gave it to us again.
Serving.
Always.
Man, Bertha. She took a few weeks off. She had to rest and recuperate after going back to back to back. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I just got to take a little breather. I got to let the cheeks rest. They raw.
Someone else was standing next to her that had some underbutt as well. I think it was Zaza.
I think they're two peas in a pod. I think Zaza picked up on it and did the same type of situation for that. Mm-hmm. You know what? Here's the thing I loved about our girl Zaza in this episode, even though she wasn't really involved. When I did see Zaza during the daily, you know what I saw her doing? I saw her encouraging Olivia.
Yes.
Clearly not on her team, but she's on her team in this daily, right? She's like, you keep going. She's like, got her hands on her shoulders, like, hey, girl, you got this. And to me, it looked like your female friend who comes up to you and be like, girl, you can break up with him. Just block his number. That's the vibe I got from Zaza. She was just like, it's fine. You got this.
You know what? Zaza is like, her always energy is the girl in the bathroom at the club that's just like happy to make friends with everybody. Yeah. That's just Zaza. Like, everybody's a little fucked up. We're all the girls are in the bathroom, you know, touching up their hair and their makeup. She's like, you look good. You know what? Fuck that guy. I saw him trying to talk to you. Fuck that guy. Like that. Yeah. I could see her being just, that is quintessentially Zaza all of the time.
Yeah. Before you walked in here, he was buying other girls drinks. So fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Although I am deep into what people have been posting, what people from the cast have been posting from the reunion.
Oh, okay.
Did you see the video that it was like Nerys, Mariah, and fucking Raven, and then Zaza was in it. And it was something about like, if you're talking about us, like we don't want to hear it and all this shit. And I was like, Zaza, not the group. She's too nice. I think to be like, I don't want to be involved in this. Also, no one talks bad about you, Zaza. We love you. So like, just don't. Just
no. Push them. Just slide them over, Zaza. You don't need any of that. Please don't be a part of that, please.
I'm very excited for this reunion, though.
I think I might actually watch it.
Yeah, I think it's a must. I think it's an absolute must. Maybe we'll talk about it. Who knows?
Who knows? How many squares did you count? Did you pause to count the squares?
Are you kidding? They started like shining which ones. I guess that is a graphic. They started like shining which boxes were things, and I was like, wouldn't have gotten that one. That didn't even see that. Nope.
My first count was 20. I got 20. There was a total of 24. Mm-hmm. Now, here's why I'm part of Big Brain Committee. I'm part of the number one.
Yep.
Is because I clearly would have a strategy that it seemed like maybe one of the group had, which to me, on the face of it, is absolutely frustrating and confusing. Yeah,
I know exactly what you're about to talk about.
You go, okay, I got 20, so there's at least 20. I got my number for 20 because it's a nice round number to multiply by. Like an easy number to actually multiply by if you figure out how to do it. Mm-hmm. What's 39 times 10? Oh, it's this. Okay, it's 390. What's 390 times 2? Yep. And then just keep adding 39 and pulling the fucking lock. Escape room 101.
Yeah, I mean, it was our boy Ed that came up with that and got them in the lead. I mean, they almost won it because of Ed. I'm telling you, Ed is a sleeper. Go, Ed. I fucking love Ed.
Go, Ed, go.
So massively Team Ed. I want Ed to win this season. Bad.
you were jumping the gun because after my next rant, I said, Mixie, it's time for the Ed Love segment. I turn it to you. But
I got excited.
You got too excited. You got ahead of yourself. But I'm just like, well, if you know there's at least that number of squares, just keep adding 39, guys. Like, everybody's sitting there doing long division. They're trying to figure out square roots. And then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the number one. And then this week, we look back at an absolute classic game that everybody loves called Why is Raven So Confident When She's So Wrong? Previously in America's favorite podcast games, remember when she was for sure that Kylie Jenner had more followers than Ronaldo? This week, she went even a step further in her just delusional world. She was for sure that the number was 225. Now, Mixie, I know you're not big with math, but I'm so confident that even you could have played the Corey role in this.
I feel confident that I would have done better than what she did. And then for her to double down on it.
She doubled down. She goes, no, it's right. It's right. It's not even remotely right. You want to know why? Because if you were to divide that by 39, it's 5.8 with a bunch of numbers after that. So it's not even it's not even the right. You didn't even do the right math with simple multiplication. She said, and now Corey said 229. She said 225. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She said, her words, I did 40 times 15, and then I subtracted 15. Guys, it's not even close. It's not even close. There's clearly more than 5 squares. And Corey had to explain it to her like a preschooler. And then she goes, oh, yeah, it's 1,000. Like, all of a sudden, she just knew 1,000.
Yeah, I didn't really follow the logic that she was giving, but it was a lot of numbers.
That's why you couldn't follow it.
It was just the fact that she like got super snappy with him when he was like in the middle. Let the guy fuck it, and he's like, "Let me explain it to you." And when she finally shut the fuck up for a second and listened, she immediately goes, "Oh, well, this is another 1,000," and then like runs back, and I'm like,
"Where did you get that from?" All of a sudden.
Yeah, again, Ed is a killer. Ed is a machine. I fucking love Ed. He came in with the strategy that I thought of immediately as soon as I got there. You have somebody look and start counting to get you a general number as to how close you go. And then you just start, okay, 39. You said 22. You guys do 22, 21, 20, and 19. We'll do 23, 24, 25, 26. Somebody's going to get it.
Well, you do it one time. You get what you think is, you go, okay, add. I'm confident that there's 20. Mm-hmm. And with these, there's always more, unless you're on Zaza's team and people start counting rectangles and not squares. And then you go, that's a rectangle. And Horacio goes, they'll count those. Sir.
That's not a square.
Not a square. Mix knows that.
I do know the difference between rectangles and squares. I thought it immediately. I was like, are we just going to count rectangles too?
It's like, what? There's going to be enough on there. There was at least 20. Start there and go up. Now, see, that wasn't the part that surprised me about Ed. Ed gave me a great little piece of insight into here and how his brain works and some shortcuts. And I love a good math shortcut here. Mm-hmm. When they were trying to like just keep going, I would have been like, okay, add 39. Okay, and I would try to add 39. He goes, just add 40 and take one off the counter.
One.
And I go, oh, Ed! Our boy's a genius.
I want Ed back every season. I hope Ed wins this season so badly. He is my number one for me to win. I need Ed with a dub.
He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy to just have around the house. So that happens. They finally get the bags done. I think the first team that showed up was the last team to leave, which was hysterical.
Yellow, which you could clearly tell by their outfits. What team they were on.
We're not dipping into that pond.
I loved when the puzzle was taken out, and I immediately recognized it. because now I'm in like Michelle Stan category on Twitter sometimes, where I see the videos of her, or maybe I just follow her and she reposts the puzzles.
You knew what this one was too?
Yeah, and honestly, this is a kind of puzzle I think I'd be good at.
Okay.
Because it's not maths per se. I mean, I guess it is maths, but it's not maths to the point of like plus, minus, multiply, divide, square root. It's more of like visual maths, which I do think I'd be good at. Okay. So it was interesting to watch. Again, back to what I was saying about Jay being unlikable. Him like freaking out when they hadn't blown the horn and being like, "Oh, I told you, I did it again." Like, dude, chill. You gotta wait a little bit because you just embarrassed yourself. I was so curious as to what was taking so long to check it. How are they checking it? Was it TJ? Or is there people off camera? Because they showed a very
100% people off camera looking at that. I think somebody actually came up and looked at it. Yeah. And they saw that one was just slightly. If you looked when the other team won, it was just so smooth. Like there was not anything off, which just goes to show like how hard that puzzle actually is.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a good watch. I liked the mini final.
I did, and I liked how it just kept unfolding little bit by little bit. I was like, oh, they've won. I was like, no, there's a thing at the end they have to do, too.
I was fucking crying laughing at all of, like, the shots of them, like, looking, like, so nervously at each other. Like, somebody's holding a piece, and they're just like...
Raven's looking over there, and I was like, stop showing her. I haven't heard from her once this episode. It's been great.
Yeah. It was the looks at all the other puzzles as if like, oh, they put that piece there. Let me cheat off of them. Like, how the fuck are you guys gonna even know?
Yeah, that one that is 4 inches and 3/4. That one goes at the bottom of the other one.
Yeah. But I just thought it was so funny.
I really like to know how long that really took for them, because I don't think that's something that you just like. That feels like a 30-minute type thing.
Put it in the list of things that we would love to know the time frame of. Like, how long did they run? Would have loved to know that. But, fuck us.
Yeah. We don't need to know that. We're just the fans of the television show that they have.
We're just literally the people giving you money so that you can keep doing this. But it's fine.
It's fine. You know what? It's fine. It's whatever.
I want to talk about the deliberation of the team that won.
Oh, it's one of my favorite things that I think I've ever seen on television. And just more Delulu world.
He didn't even try. Unless they cut it to look like this.
Yeah.
But I find it very difficult that they would have been able to cut it. I've seen Kylan interrupt people time and time and time again. And I didn't see anything like that in this.
No, I don't think he tried because he knew. But you know what, Mixie? I don't want you to think that Kylan just laid down on the ground and that this didn't help him. He was outnumbered. It was going to be Horacio. It was always going to be Horacio. But you know what, Mixie? By doing this, we've, he said, now put the house in a very tough position.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to clarify. Last week, putting Horacio in was a scared move. Now it's a big brain move because they can't put you in. I just want to clarify that is correct. Well, because they couldn't have easily voted me in for the House. Cool, but your point last time was Horacio going in was a scared move. The same thing happened again, and then our boy James, who never says anything, by the way.
Yep.
Said something, and then Nerys has to apparently take the Kylan role this week.
Yeah. The Nerys James situation.
Thank God he said something and stood up for it.
Oh my God, so annoying. Again, she's like, what'd she say? She said something like, I'm so sick of this tired excuse of I'm scared to go to a final. That is just point blank a fact. Honestly, that is a compliment. I don't understand where the disconnect is. Maybe he shouldn't have been doing so well this season and people wouldn't be going after him.
Yeah, maybe he should have stuck with the team that he was originally part of from the get-go.
Like Jay said, specifically during this final, that they were worried about Colleen and they saw her performance and he's like, I'm no longer worried about Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
If Jay is actually factual and stays with what he's saying, I don't think they're going to go for Colleen anymore. I think they're going to continue to shoot for Raven and move on to Zaza. And I think Colleen's off the chopping block because she did so shit in the mini final.
Let me see. Kylan's gone to an elimination twice against two vets, beat both of them, won this mini final, but we shouldn't throw him in as a threat to win the whole thing, right? And also, remember, Nerys, you're competing against him too. So you're either here to win money or you're not.
This is the Tori Jordan all over again.
Sure. Now, she did have a partner with her that could have helped, right?
Yep.
And then but then they're like, usually we're splitting, right? But it said there's one champion here.
Yep.
It's not like a men's and women's thing when we compete as individuals usually. There's one champ, which also makes me think it's going to be one person getting all the money because the money's dipped so much now.
Yes.
I think one person's getting the entire money.
I agree.
So if you're Nerys, sure, you're confident, but aren't you also looking at Kylan being like, yeah, I kind of want him out too. I want to win. And if you're not thinking that, why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
You're here to like hang out. Sure, that's great. But then don't make any, don't get upset about game moves when it's clear that you're not here for game then.
It's just like whatever is convenient for them at the time.
It's everybody does that on the show, honestly.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
It's so frustrating because it's just like, what are we doing? All right, deliberation time. This is where the stalemate happens.
So much fun. I had fun with. A lot of fun with.
What was your favorite part?
What was my favorite part? When Ed smirked and said, my vote's for Jay. Easily, that was my favorite part. I was like, you dog, you old sailor, you.
Yeah, look at you. Everyone thought that was fun. My favorite part was Corey being like, I'll bird on myself, and that way we get what we want.
Yep.
And then Ed going,
Ed's like,
fuck you. Actually, as a matter of fact, that's not what's going down here.
oh, I loved it so much. And then for Jay to get mad at Nerys, which I think all of that is valid and like all of that is funny, but I'm so curious if he said anything to Ed or if he went up to Ed and was like, well played, you know, because that's fucking hilarious. It's so funny that Ed did that. He's like, I don't have anything to lose. I'm going to go in if I don't. So, and I like Emmanuel and we're both getting fucked here. Fuck you, Jay.
See, that's where I was thinking. I was like, he had the opportunity to make sure that he was kind of not going in. You know, I think, so his odds went from like 33 being up on the thing, and it's even less than that because there's more people up there, to a 50-50 shot, kind of.
Yeah.
And that's why I was a little like, I know you're. It seems like you're working with Emmanuel now because of what you did. You were both like, oh, should we vote for each other? I think they definitely had a conversation. They're like, hey, I feel like we got to look out for each other at this point.
I feel like if they had a conversation, they should have gone for Corey. Ed did say something at one point. He's like, why is Corey's name not being brought up?
I agree.
I was like, that's a really good point. Why isn't it?
With you. Because he's too close to Jay, but so is everybody at this
But then for Asaf to be like, in that deliberation, be like, I'm really excited. Or maybe it wasn't the deliberation. When they were all kind of talking about who they were going to vote, that whole alliance. And Asaf's like, I'm just really excited. Like, it's an exciting time. And then his ass gets called down. Amazing.
It was good. That was a savage move by
CT.
Well, that was fun. What the other thing that I had a lot of fun watching that deliberation. The thing that just drove me crazy, I was like, does Kylan know that he doesn't have to speak? Does Kylan, are they just like, you can choose not to speak, Mr. I don't do well in social situations. Michelle
don't like
being like, you know, you can vote for other reasons, you dumb piece of shit.
Yeah. This whole thing of like, let's all make speeches at the table.
Awful.
If you aren't one of the people that are up for elimination or a name that is being mentioned, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
He was just so happy. I think there was a point where Kylan was like just pinching his nipples, right? Like,
yeah, dude, he was beaming.
Okay, he didn't really do that, guys, but that's how excited he was.
Maybe some shots you can't see his nipples. We don't know.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
Allegedly, he was maybe not doing that. But it's like, bro, you don't have to talk all the time. You didn't talk at the end of the daily, so let's not talk now. Just be quiet for a change, please. Please just be quiet for a change.
When they stalemated.
Yep.
And we knew that TJ was going to decide, hence the title. Which, by the way, maybe don't put those things in the title. Steven did call it.
No big deal.
So, what did you think was going to be the result of that?
Mixie, obviously, we've talked about this for 14 episodes, that what was going to happen was CT was coming in with the thing, because we already saw him holding it in a preview. And again, why I don't like watching previews.
But they just were slapping those in the middle of the episode towards the last couple episodes. They were just like, oh, shadow of CT's body with the club.
And I'm like, okay, how do we get to this point? Obviously, it's a stalemate. Maybe it'll be Horacio with one, and the other one will be, Chaos, and they'll have to pull one of them. And honestly, I don't know how it wasn't that.
No, that would have made it, if they knew that was going to be the thing, like if that's what it was, then they would just stalemate on votes all the time. It brings it to 50-50 instead of a third.
Right. And so I think they only did that because it was the last one.
I could see that being the case.
Because if this would have happened like 3 weeks ago,
we would have been dealing with this constantly. Yeah.
No way they're doing that. It would have completely ruined what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Which was that. So I would have been a little pissed, honestly. I would have been like, so he just gets to pick whomever? Like, we're not even going to pretend to pull things out? Like,
I kind of liked it. I thought it was funny. Again, You're going to fuck yourselves. Then they're going to take this to the extreme. This is what they do every time, because guess what? When you do this, it fucks with production. And they're going to get pissed at you for doing that.
They are. However, if it was only the men voting and the men fucked themselves, I would agree. But the ladies had a large hand in this too. They could have just been like, hey, whatever they do, we're just going to go opposite to make sure it evens out. And I think that's kind of what Jay was saying last in the thing was like, hey, I made sure that things didn't get fucked for you. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, I don't care. So it's whatever. But CT comes out, movie trailer, great movie trailer for CT.
We got the backpack bananas.
Man, backpack was in there.
I got a greaseback bun babe sighting. You know I love those.
It was a bun that was greased back. That's what I saw.
We saw it.
Now, he called her Casey, which I was very confused about.
Who the fuck is that?
I was like, oh, you mean greaseback bun babe? Okay. GBB. Yeah.
That's our girl GBB. Who the fuck is Casey?
It was great.
Stuff.
It was great. He came out.
His baby blues were baby blueing.
And they got that right line on him. I think they did a little color correction in post.
Oh, you betcha. You betcha, because those aren't real.
Boosting that blue, baby.
As they should. God love him.
You were asking me what did I think was going to happen. And I think, as I was starting to say earlier, what we had been feel like we were setting up for the entire first part of the season.
Yep.
Was CT was going to come in with the chaos
Club.
thing, and he'd be like, let's run it back, Jay. And Jay would have been like, oh my God. Mixie, we didn't get that. And my mind was blown.
I loved it. CT's like, I'm sure that this guy has been saying that I've got it out for him. I'm not giving him that entertainment. I'm not giving it to him. I'm doing somebody else. And this magical out of nowhere, we're just going to go for a soft when nobody knows that him and Jay are super close and they're best friends and he's the uncle to his kid. Nobody could possibly see that on Instagram. Super weird that CT didn't go for Jay but went for his direct number one.
Oh, is that what you're thinking?
Absolutely. I immediately was like, this is calculated.
Okay.
Because he literally said it's not personal to Asaf. Because it's personal to Jay.
Interesting. I didn't see that take coming from you.
That's what I thought it was. Because I
just thought he said you're
CT.
the only one I don't really know.
He doesn't know anybody else up there. Does he? He doesn't know Horacio. He doesn't know Kylan.
I think he's well aware of Horacio.
Ed.
That is the one. Yeah.
Emmanuel.
No, I think Emmanuel is on a season with him. I thought it was more random than what it was. But you're saying you feel like that was...
I can't imagine CT going in there and being random.
Okay. I think he was just like, whatever, let's do this.
I also feel like production was probably like, you should call Jay down. And he was like, nah, I'm not doing that for you guys.
I think that's what they really wanted. You're right.
That's 100% what they wanted.
I think they're like, if we had our way, and again, we can't force you to do anything you don't want to do, we think Jay might be the thing, because he beat you and it'd be good for you to do that. And he was like, hey, Jay, I know you probably think it's you, but you know what? We had a good battle and you beat me fair and square. So nothing. And I was like, what? And then I was waiting for him to go, but come down here anyway. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for a little rope-a-dope, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the
I
rope-a-dope?
could have seen him doing that, yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
I loved it, especially because Asaf the whole season, like when the very first chaos happened and he was like upset that, I forget who the hell,
Jordan.
maybe it was Jordan.
Yeah.
It was Jordan. He was like, I wanted to go against Jordan. Okay, here's CT. You want it so bad? Here you go.
And I think he did. I think he really, I think he respects the game enough to understand, not a lot of people get these opportunities, to begin with, because these people don't end up going to eliminations. But he can also sit here and go, my best friend in the world, the uncle of my son, beat CT, and now I have the opportunity to do the same. We're one of probably 4 or 5 people who have ever done this on this show.
Yeah.
This would be just a great blessing. And they got math. So
let's talk about this elimination choice.
do we have to?
We don't have to. I would say this is the worst one yet.
It is the worst one yet. It's easily the worst one yet.
What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? We have the fucking GOAT, the guy, and we have him take a fucking steel fucking, not even like a hexagon, around in one time. I had to do it one time. Flip it over and do a 4 math problem equation with prime numbers. When's the last time you heard prime number, by the way?
Did you know what a prime number was?
I did. I immediately in my brain, I was like 1, 3, 7, 11.
Wow.
Yeah, I did know that. I actually am good at math. I just have to sit down and be doing it.
Okay.
I swear to God, I just can't mentally do it. I think Michelle said that at one point. She's like, I can't do math without a piece of paper. I cannot do math without a piece of paper.
I was just shocked that they decided to let them use the Price is Right wheel to push around in the sand. I was like, that's the Price is Right wheel. One time. Just push it around. What was that supposed to do?
And there was clearly it was heavy, but there was these little squishy blocks occasionally that they just at one point CT moved the hexagon wheel over the little block and you could see it lift off the ground. The little block that was under, it wasn't even in the ground at all. They just kind of put them there sort of. You could have kicked it and then kept rolling. Disappointed.
After last week, I'm just they gave Laurel that, they gave Cara that, they gave, even the one that Brad did was better. But after seeing those ladies come back, I was expecting more. But again, this goes back to the point that for the future of the show, they need these people to win.
I agree with you more than ever on that. I honestly think that they did Diet Challenge for so long, they don't know how to do the challenge normally.
I do think, since this is clearly the last chaos.
Yeah.
In whatever this next phase is, if there are eliminations the way we think, we're going to get those. I believe that's what we're going to get.
The hall brawls and the pole wrestles and some
pole wrestles, some bangers, some you know, how long
CT
can you hold on to
backpacks.
this thing with fire underneath your thing? Like these endurance ones that we think of with the challenge. I think these other people coming in, it was like, we need to show that they're beatable. So when we do have our new batch going forward, it's like, oh, well, they could have never beat them. They could have never beat them. And so we kind of have to give them these math problems to solve to be able to potentially win. I think I'm out of the energy to complain about this again, but what would they have given CT? Like, they just weren't doing this. And again, I go back to the fact that the only real physical one was poor little Big T against like one of her best friends in Greaseback Bun Babe doing a pole wrestle while it was raining, by the way.
And the Jordan one.
Yeah, to start the season. But like, I don't know. I'm out of the energy to complain about it at this point.
I almost don't want to get on Twitter when this episode comes up. People are going to be so fucking mad.
I didn't even think about that. I really
so
didn't
mad.
think about that.
People, and honestly, rightfully so. This is horrific. You cannot bring.
Just don't bring them out.
Yeah.
Just don't have them.
Yep.
Just don't have them.
Get Derek. Has Derek ever won?
Yeah, I think he's won. I mean, you got to remember, back in the day, there was like 8 people on a team winning. So even if we were awful,
yeah,
you were
you
getting
could get
some
there.
W's every once in a while. If
Yeah,
your team was
that's-
dominant in dailies, sometimes it was like 8 versus 4 in a final. Like it was just
it's so
bloodbaths, you know?
I missed that.
And it's like,
That
oh, we
was-
need
those
8
were
people to
fun.
carry this train down the road. And it's like, oh, that's easy.
Oh, does your team have 3? Sorry, figure it out.
Train's still the same size. You should have done better in your eliminations and dailies.
Oh, God. Yeah. You know, I'm sad to see Chaos go because it was fun to see all of these people come in. I still stand by what you said earlier, that it would have been 12 times better if CT walked out and we didn't know, and if Kara walked out and we didn't know. I think they really dropped the ball on that. I did also see on Twitter, because I think we talked about this a little bit, Bananas was not contacted to be in this season. He has
Interesting.
stated that he was not contacted at any point in time to be in like the chaos section of things.
I then need a timeline of his shows when they were filming and when they were not filming.
She left before he went to film Villains, because she said that on that god fucking awful podcast that I had to listen to. Holy shit. I'm sorry, Michelle, I can't do it. I know you were on there recently. I absolutely cannot do it again. Steven did it for us because we're trading off. I don't even remember what I was saying because I'm so mad that I had to listen to that.
The fact that iHeartRadio, the biggest radio company in the fucking world, produces that podcast. The challenge greenlights that podcast. And nobody can get Devon a fucking microphone and a place to record where it doesn't sound like she's from the 1930s and recording
She's
in
in
a
a well.
fucking well.
I swear to God, she climbs down a ladder into a well and goes, okay, I'm ready to record. I swear to you.
What are we doing? There's not a producer who goes, hey, Devon, is there anywhere better in your house that you can go? Can we at least throw up like a fucking moving like tarp somewhere? Hey, egg cart's gonna cost us $50. We're gonna send you $50 and some adhesive stickers, and you just put them on the wall next to where you're talking.
I truly, I'm not joking, guys. If you've listened this far, we appreciate you. We love you. We're going to wrap it up here in a minute. Also, there's some exciting stuff at the end of this, so you're going to want to hang on. But I want to understand truly, if you listen to this podcast, outside of the people that are like probably the most entertaining from the episode coming on to the podcast, why are you listening to the podcast?
They're listening strictly for the reason that they have people on the podcast. And I think they figured that out a few times ago, because there was times where that podcast was not having people on every episode. And I think people were like, what this is awful.
Horrific.
This is awful.
Horrific. Honestly, I feel like I should call the police that my ears were assaulted.
And what I would honestly like to know, this will be the last thing we ask, and I know there's probably not an answer to this. What if they didn't have interviews? What insight does somebody respectfully to people who are not really huge challenge people, what insight would they have as podcasters, as hosts, as comedians, as entertainers that would make me want to listen without the interviews? That's the point I make.
They don't have it. It doesn't exist. That's the answer.
Fine, but to me, then that's just a poor selection of what you're doing if you want this to be a big thing. Not saying you had to get the number one, because our cost would be too high, obviously, for you to be able to afford.
We could be negotiated with, though.
Yeah, but then you'd have to be in a well. I don't think you want to record in a well. You know,
I would go in a well if I could quit my job.
I don't think those people have quit their jobs, but that's neither here nor there.
I wouldn't either if I heard my own fucking podcast back and that's what it sounded like. So
that's right.
I'm so serious. I just can't. I couldn't believe it.
What's that? There's more time in this podcast? What does that mean?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It almost means like we have some interviews coming up. Oh my God.
We have interviews, which means you can listen to our podcast. Yay.
Oh my God. We have interviews. Oh my God. We have interviews. Oh my God. Look at the time left on your little slider there.
This is so exciting.
It's almost like we just continue to do number one things on the number one. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, this interview that I have with Brad, Mix was very busy that day, could not attend.
Yeah, I wanted to. I love Brad and his Duck Dynasty beard.
This was so much fun to me because, as you'll hear in the interview, I believe I blacked out a little bit. I watched his season of Real World in college with my buddies. It was something we did. And the nostalgia factor and just the coolness that I got to talk to this guy that I've been watching on television for, 20 years now, it feels like at this point, was so cool. Team Free Brad forever. And then following that interview, we have one with, some might know him as a pit crew member. We definitely will be asking about that.
Oh, absolutely.
On Drag Race, we have Asaf. We would like to know if he can name drop us in the next rap that he does with Jay.
I don't think I want that.
Well, clout is clout, Mix. Clout is clout.
Oh, this is going to be a good interview. I'm excited.
So let's get into all those. Remember, please go on YouTube or that will start disappearing. So choice is yours and yours alone. Good luck. Bye, guys. We'll see you later.
Love you.
Bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one of the all-time guys is here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brad. Brad is here. He's on the number one. He's on the Right Reality podcast. Brad, I just want to say before we get going here, I want you to know what part of the team I'm on here. I got my Free Brad logo on my shirt here.
Oh, old school. I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support.
We were watching that. Me and my buddies were watching that when I was in college at Florida State. And when my buddy had to go hang out with his girlfriend, we would always just go, Free Brad.
Dude, let me tell you something. Like, I can't even tell you in words how much I appreciate you bringing this up because, one, I forget I did that, okay? Like, because it's been so long. And it's a great memory. Who would have thought that, like, getting arrested would turn into such a fond memory? I traveled and spoke at so many schools, and people would wear shirts that said Free Brad on a regular basis for, like, the first 2 years off the show. And I was just so flattered. And, like, it turned into such a thing. It's I mean, like, look, you still got to post it, scream it with, it's still here. It's still with us. And I will just say, what an experience. And I've had so many laughs with so many people in so many different cities over the years. Truly, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, it's like a montage of like just amazing clips in my head when you say that.
I mean, it really does. I mean, me and my buddies still, when we get together, like I was just with them over the holidays, we'll try to emulate your voicemail back and forth to each other to see who can do it. Pick me up, bitch. I'm locked up, bitch.
I'm locked up, bitch. Oh, dude, I love that. Amazing. Thank you for bringing this all back. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. We've talked to a couple of the mercenaries who have been brought in, and I want to get your perspective on this. Does this feel like more or less pressure coming into a scenario? Because I can see both sides.
Bro, you want my real take on this? I don't know if you're ready for it. You really want the uncensored, or should I mean, honestly, I was blown away. I I literally found myself on that flight home like, this is what mercenaries go through? I thought it was like, oh yeah, no skin in the game. You show up, you probably slept great last night. I flew in with jet lag, okay? I have a hard time sleeping. So I took some sleeping medication on the plane thinking, oh, this is a nice dose. I'm going to be out cold. I still stayed up the whole flight, okay? This is a true story for the record. I get to the hotel in Croatia. I don't know which way's up or down because it's such a long flight. And all I'm thinking is, wow, I'm going into elimination. Try to stay on schedule. Oh, my God, I haven't slept yet. I get to the hotel room. Bro, no bullshit. Air conditioning's broken. I mean, not working a little bit. Shit is broken, okay? And I get hot when I'm laying down. I mean, even with the sheet on, I'm sweating. And at this point, the pressure's building up. So I'm like going through, like, I'm flopping around like a tuna, just being like, fuck this, you know? So I go to the front desk and I finally ask, you know, what can we do about the air conditioning? And they're like, sir, we could switch rooms, but it's going to be another couple hours or something. I didn't switch rooms. Long story short, I went in and when I came out, I was like just shocked that was what it was. I thought it was like this plush gig you got in. Now, maybe for people that can like sleep on schedule, that would be the case. But for me, I felt like this was like a crazy bender. And then I got thrown in, which was amazing. Like, that part was still always like, it's just like, I guess that part was cooler than normal because you were the feature, but like to see TJ to go straight into an elimination. I mean, the beginning of any season is always amazing, but it was different. You know what I mean? It was its own type of amazing coming in as a mercenary, but holy shit. I mean, the price that you paid on the back end, never would I have pictured that in a million years. Never.
I can't imagine it. It seems like some people are like, yeah, whatever. But I can just see where it's like, yo, they brought me in for a reason. They brought me in for a reason. And then I can't let my thing fall down. Jesus, let's get it together over here. I got to keep it professional. So I can totally see that. You mentioned TJ. One of my questions here is, you've seen him for a lot of years. You've had a lot of interactions with him. I have been told by people that the highest compliment TJ can pay you is not the fist bump. It is not the you killed it. It is where he just looks at you and nods, confirm or deny.
I don't know. I've gotten a lot of those. So, I mean, that makes me feel like my stock price is high in his eyes. However, I will say I'm not feeling that vibe completely. I mean, I have to say I respectfully, which I don't know. He's an interesting dude. I'm trying to think of where his head's at when he's giving you that silent nod now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he just throws those out like candy on Halloween. It's not trick or treat with TJ. You know what I'm saying? With that
Although
said,
I would love to go trick or treating with TJ. Let's be honest. What a pitch for MTV if they need more content. Trick or treating with TJ.
Facts. I'm actually wondering. I would assume he does have candy at his house, but like, what does he say to the kids when he hands it out?
Killed it. Like,
you know,
I think he's like,
yeah, you killed it.
Kids show up and give him a little fist bump.
And then maybe that one kid gets the silent head nod. What's that kid thinking? Exactly what I'm thinking right now after your question. I don't know how to answer this.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll move on because I'm a professional, but I like the energy.
I love it.
So you've been part of some very memorable, let's call them kerfuffles over the years, and not including the ones that you were directly involved in. Is there one that stands out to you that you were just like, holy shit, I can't believe I got to see that? Or one to you that's just like, God, was that one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life?
So the first two that come to my mind, and I'm trying to figure out which one deserves first place at this point. You know what? I'm going to give it to Beth's shit going in the pool on Inferno 2, because back in that day, people don't realize this. It was not as strict with the contracts and requirements for compliance with production. So we were on the roof, actually, with our mics off, talking about who was going home next. It was Darrell, Derek, myself, CT, and I want to say that was the crew at the time. And all of a sudden, and now this is like a bird's eye view. The lights are off. I'm pretty sure we're definitely not supposed to be in the area of the roof that we're in because it's dark. It's not lit up. So we're not supposed to be there. And that's all. Well, I'll leave it at that for the top of the roof. But while we're up there and we're looking with this bird's eye view of this huge lit up estate, all of a sudden you see Beth's shit go in the pool, and there's a suitcase floating, and girls are screaming. And there was something about the overhead shot that wasn't had. Okay, like this is before the drones. We had the drone shot before there was a drone shot for Beth's shit going in the pool. Do you know what I'm saying? We were the drone shot.
I agree.
No memory card, but yeah.
The very first ever challenge drone shot was you guys on the roof.
Well, we had that angle on Beth's shit, and I don't think anyone else did. And I will say it was like Tina screaming, and Rachel and Veronica and Beth and Tanya. It was like the old school, like I could not. I mean, like, dude, when those girls started yelling, your heart rate went up. I don't care how chill you think you are or how tough you think you are. Put a 5-pack of those girls in their heyday screaming at each other and a heart monitor. Your shit's going through the roof, you know? And that was an exciting moment. The other one I would say was probably seeing CT and Bananas go at it head to head. That was incredible to see in person.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. And poor Johnny for having to do it because CT showed up in such good shape on that one. When he was coming through the like smoke and shit with the first black uniforms ever. That was the first mercenary set, Tina and CT, that I can remember. Hopefully my facts are straight on that. But CT, I thought they paid someone from the UFC to come in and really hurt somebody, you know? And like the look on his face, he just it was the whole experience of watching that happen was incredible. And then you know what's crazy about that? And people forget this, and now I'm thinking about this too. Tyler beat CT. In that shape. Mm-hmm. A lot of people forget that he did that. He might have been slightly worn out. I don't remember. But I will say Tyler did a great job on that elimination too. So those were both great eliminations to watch. Not just, CT be able to pick another man up and walk him like that, like a backpack. But to see Tyler then beat him was pretty impressive too.
You were there for that iconic moment. Is that something that while you're there, you go, oh shit, this is going to be something that like you already know, you've done enough. You're like, oh, this will be like top 3 moments. I don't care what they do on the show for the rest of time. Yeah. This is iconic because not only what happened, but the people involved, right?
You do know. I mean, a couple of them I'd say, yeah. I mean, almost all of them, you know. I mean, there's times where you walk away and you'll hear the chatter, or you'll walk away sometimes and you won't hear people talk. You'll literally hear people like quiet. You'll see like people processing, somebody big's going home, but then you get on the bus and you hear the aftermath and people's take on it. And I will say, I mean, you can already tell you're feeling it. Then when you hear everyone else start talking about it, then you're like, oh wow, it's not just me. Everybody saw it like this. And then, there's something coming,
Yeah. We talked to Carl last week about the fact that we do not see bus scenes anymore and how much fun bus scenes used to be.
I'm sure the insurance policy had a hand in that, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Maybe we don't want camera people standing on buses that are traveling, Do
you want driving while fighting coverage, or do you want pullover fighting coverage with that?
Yeah.
policy?
Yeah. Which ones do you want? So I'm sure you missed that as well.
Both expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So
Good
the last
classic days, though.
Oh man, just all the hits and all the hits. This will be the last question. We'll let you get going here. If I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom for season 40, because this is the question everybody wants to know. I don't really care. I just want good content. Is this a theme, or are you just bringing back specific people? And if you want a theme, what is it? Is it 40 people, 40 dailies? Like, what are we doing? How are we blowing this out? If we give you the keys to the kingdom.
You know what? Not for season 40, but I'd like to see teams come back with $1 million or $500,000 prize. I think you're going to see shit you've never seen before in the history of the game. I'd like to see teams come back, but not for 40. I think 40 is such a unique milestone season. I know personally, if I'm blessed enough to be there, and I'm planning on being there, I'm going to literally put every fiber of my being on the line to leave a memorable impression on the game and hopefully take that victory. I think this is going to be as big, if not bigger, than the first single winners. It's 40 seasons, man. That's a huge milestone, in my opinion. I'm honored and blessed to be a part of this game. This game has gotten more serious over time. And now that I've gotten past the hump of eating on All Stars 3, which honestly, I think that might have costed me the W because I had an out-of-body experience. I don't know where the hell I was for a good 30 minutes out there. I don't know what the hell happened. But, like, here's what I will say. It's going to suck if I have to do it again. But I think I'll be able to keep my feet on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can't just, I mean, the eating sucks. Have you ever eaten anything nasty?
I dry heave watching you guys do it, but I enjoy the hell out of it.
That's how I used to be. I used to be. And then I read that sign and I'm like, 3 pounds. Have you guys lost your shit? And in fact, a lot of people don't know this. I brokered a pound less for the girls while we were all eating, and they got a pound less. But I should have not, if I didn't. I mean, that's probably more time. I probably spent more time on that than I lost by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are the things that start to, I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm like, I'm really glad those girls didn't have to eat an extra pound. But, you know, I mean, that might have cost me the W.
It could have. And then then you're in your head, you're like, how much McDonald's would this actually be if I ate 3 pounds of McDonald's? And you're like,
that would be so nice, though.
Eight Big Macs, and you know, how many fries would that be? But after eating that shit, I'd welcome some of that. I'm like, bring on the McFlurry, baby. Bring on.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I guess what I'm getting at is on 40, you won't see me playing that way. I think you're going to see a lot of people show up and literally put it all on the line. And I've been training harder now than I've ever trained before in my life. And I do look forward to that season if I'm lucky enough to be on it.
Well, we hope that you're there, man. We appreciate your time and thank you for your service to this industry, to all of the television hours that we've watched you. We've seen you grow up. We've seen you do some fun stuff. We've seen you do some crazy stuff. So on behalf of my podcast and the community here, thank you very much for everything that you've done and the hours of entertainment you've given us.
Thank you. And I will say the love is reciprocal. I truly appreciate you supporting this show, and it has been such a large part of my life. So hopefully we can have another session soon and celebrate some really big news.
That'd be great, man. We'll do a blowout big long episode here. We'll reach out in coming up. We're coming up to episode 300 soon. So right here.
Jesus. Amazing. Congratulations, brother.
We've been in it for a minute. So all right, man. Take care. Have a good rest of your day, brother.
You too. Take care. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, now, because we are the #1 podcast, obviously, Asaf is joining us. Asaf, how are we doing, my friend? Good to see you.
What up? Thank you for the good energy, my brother. I'm happy to join you for this podcast. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being on. Can I just say, like you say, I'm happy to be here. I feel like you're always happy, my guy.
I'm trying my best, man. When you gotta stay positive against whatever life is throwing at you.
Yeah, and I imagine at the end of this week's episode, that's something that obviously could hit. You seem to be a very happy guy in the show, a happy guy in your social media profiles and all the stuff you do. Is that something completely not related to the challenge? Is that something that you feel like you strive for? Is that easy for you, or is that a little difficult? Do you have like any tricks for people?
Well, I think I would just say don't try to avoid tough times. I think I'm happy because I appreciate every moment. I've been through a lot in life. So thank you for this question. I appreciate every moment. So yeah, I wouldn't go too much into it, but yeah, I know how to be grateful. So yeah, I have everything in life. I have my wife, my son. Thank God we're healthy. I'm in my music studio making music and creating. Everything is good. I've been part of the challenge, one of the best shows to ever be on TV. Blessed.
Yeah. No. I mean, you definitely have. I mean, you mentioned being on this show. I think what everybody's asking, at least from the people who follow our show, who know that we potentially get interviews, they've asked us, when and if you get Asaf, you need to ask him about his appearances on another MTV show right now, being a member of the famed Pit Crew. How did this come about? What's that experience like? And also, I feel like I need to drop a couple LBs in order to even have a sniff at taking your spot there.
Oh shit. Dude. Well, two of my favorite shows ever is The Challenge and RuPaul's Drag Race, man. And I'm so blessed to be part of both of them. Dude, Drag Race is so funny, so much fun, and Ru is such a great person. So he gave me the one of the opportunities to be there and to take part of to be part of this show that represent all sorts of people and kinds of people, and I'm so blessed to be part of it, bro. So many times in life I felt hatred towards or like felt as an outsider, just being a foreigner, or especially in those times being I'm a Jew, so I'm a Jewish, so so getting a lot of hate for being myself. So be part of such a positive show. Um, so happy.
Love to hear that. There's another thing that I must get to the bottom of. Your shirt from Ross Dress for Less. Did it make it back from your trip, or did it unfortunately have to stay there because it was ruined? Because we got to know. How is the shirt?
Well, unfortunately, I had to. No, I had to leave it there, man. I love that shirt. My wife got this for me. I chose it, but she got it for me, and we bargained on this shirt because there was something wrong in the back, and man. Long story short, I got it one day before going to the challenge, and I love that shirt, man. I enjoyed the moment, watching first row, a challenge classic, the drink throwing, amazing, but my shirt,
Awful. It just it brings a tear to my eye. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just really sad. Did you at least have a good, service for it? Was there a good burial? It didn't just end up in the trash. There was a normal celebration, correct?
I think I used it for I think I gave it to Kylander. I'm just kidding. No, it'll be fine. I'll keep it. I'll save it for Darrell and Devin.
Nice.
As a gift. Yeah.
Okay, this episode that we just watched that just went on tonight, we had the deliberation that ended up in a stalemate. Were you guys aware that a stalemate was coming before you sat down? Because I feel like sometimes everybody knows what the numbers are, or was that kind of a surprise to everybody in the moment?
I don't remember. We didn't know, but we knew for sure. Like whoever was coming, he's gonna pick the chaos. No matter what, he's gonna be chaos. No matter what. So I think that's why we were not tripping about it, because I guess we knew it's gonna be chaos.
Yeah, you had a strong inclination that chaos.
Yeah, come on, the last one. We knew it's gonna be the last one. We just did a mini final. That means we're close to the final, and yeah.
Are we now fully aware what prime numbers are? Have we had a little tutorial on that now? We feel much better.
Still don't know. No, still don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know what prime numbers are. I don't know.
I don't blame you. I mean, I kind of remember it, but like they were giving you like a full rundown. They were like, I felt like you were in algebra class. They were telling you everything that was going on.
I'm like, yeah, come on, guys. Like the challenge. You bring CT, the champ of all champs, the beast, the man himself. And we were like, for 2 hours, literally, just calculating. It's like, oh shit, man, that's boring. I was like, CT, you want to go into a hall brawl? I don't mind if I'm gonna get injured. Like, let's just go.
So during the middle of it, that went on for quite some time, for about 2 hours, and you were both like, "Can we do something else?"
At least. They changed 3 times the equations for us.
Oh.
They changed the equation for 3 times. It took, I think, 2 hours at least. Boring.
Oh no. Was that a conversation you guys had? I mean, we've talked about it. We've talked, I think the community is kind of like, bringing in all these champs, and this is we're giving them puzzles and stuff like that. Was this a conversation you guys had in the house of like, I mean,
yeah, of course. Finally, you go against the champ, and you want to compete. You want to do a challenge classic, right? I'm not just saying whole brawl, but do something fun. Do something that represents the challenge. It was, yeah, I won't say it was boring because it wasn't boring. It was fun to watch. But at the same time, sometimes, when I watch the challenge, I'm like, oh, like I wish it was me there in the arena competing. So in most of them, I was like, nah, like, I won't do that elimination. Like, there were some of them that were so like, nah.
We're like, I mean, the same thing we've been saying. It's like, what are we doing? What
Yeah.
are we doing? You know?
I think they try to change a little bit. Like, I don't know.
Can I give you our theory? Our theory is that we feel like the idea is if we put all these beasts in against the new crop and they beat everybody, the show kind of needs you guys to beat some of these people. And in turn, it helps set up the new generation of the show. So if they come in and just absolutely box everybody, then they're like, see, they could have never competed with them back in the heyday.
But it's not true. Like in some of them, in 99% of the time, the house helped the people that been there, like everyone. By the way, I was the only elimination that the house were not allowed to help.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, no, they were not allowed to help at all.
You weren't
at all.
Like, these are the numbers I have.
Yeah. They didn't. They were not. They knew the answer. I couldn't find the answer. They could. If they were allowed, they would tell me if
Right.
it wasn't CT. But again, hey, I lost because of me, not because of anyone else. No.
I respect that. I respect you being able to take that on yourself and say,
yeah, of course. I'm not going to blame anyone.
Yeah. Were you kind of, I mean, we've been saying we felt like you and Jay were riding pretty hard there and everything felt like you guys were pretty good. So when your name came up, was that kind of like I mean, we've been doing so well, but I saw that you took it as like, I get a chance to go against CT. Jay went in and beat him. And now if I get to go in and beat him, like what a story we'd have together here. Right.
Right. I wish I would beat him. I saw the two big dreidels out there in the arena. I was like, well, if I'm going in there, it's going to be for sure physical. We're going to probably throw the dreidels on each other.
Yeah.
I was like, Hanukkah came earlier this year. No, I'm just kidding. But I was excited to go to arena against CT. But then, it was boring. What can I do? I'm not good in math and it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if it was Jay would take the W 100%.
Did you really only go around one time? Did the big spinny thing was only a one-time thing? You didn't have to do it like 6 times and then do the math?
No. It was kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, why even have it? But that's kind of part of what's been happening.
Yeah. Well,
last thing I want to ask you here. I've been hearing some of the music that you and Jay have been putting out, and I have not heard a reference to our podcast at all. So how much is that going to cost us to get a name drop, to get dropped? Because I know that's a big thing in music. Yeah. If we get a name drop, the Right Reality gets a name drop, how much is that going to cost us for, a little product placement, if you will?
Listen, send me $2,000, don't tell Jay, and it will be good.
Understood.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, bro. We'll do it for free. We love you guys. We'll take care of you, of course.
I appreciate it, man. Well, it was good seeing you back on the show. I really enjoyed the energy that you brought. Your dance moves, all of the things. I mean, the dance moves are A+ there.
Thank you.
You want to do it again, I'm sure, right? Like that energy and that desire probably doesn't like come out of your system all that easily.
Well, I won't do it in this concept. I'll do it just if I'll have a big challenge in front of me. If I would come to the show, if only Devin will be there and Darrell will be there, and I will go after them. I think that will be my number one reason. Of course, the money as well, but like if not, like maybe no. But I want a good challenge. I want to go after the people who was talking shit about me. Long story short.
So they were talking shit about you. I guess I must have missed that somewhere.
Oh yeah, on Twitter.
No, that's about right.
Yeah. The game just started.
You want some comeuppance for them.
Yeah, and again, I don't do it for the drama. I don't do it for the likes. I don't do it. I do it for the love of the game. Yeah, and I'm not looking for their attention. I'm not looking to do any alliances with them right now. Like, I'm not looking for that. No.
Got it.
Yeah.
Asaf, thank you very much for your time, man. Continued blessings, and
God
keep
bless you.
going hard. We appreciate it. We love the energy and the kindness and the happiness, which sometimes gets lost in the show. But
Sometimes.
I'll pour one out tonight for the drink for the.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care. All the best.
You too. Have a nice day, Steven.
All right, I'm gonna hit stop here. I gotta hit stop here.